scouring the good old gaff the other day. The old gaffer. Throw a Lord of the Rings reference in there. And I stumbled upon a thread about a new game that just dropped on Steam called Fidget Spinner Simulator.
Okay.
And before I tell you any more, just let that sink in for a minute.
Okay, so how much does it cost?
So Fidget Spinner Simulator, all I'm seeing about cost in this thread is there's $30 premium DLC.
It costs more than an actual fidget spinner in real life.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if it just costed about, the same price of a fidget spinner, it'd be like, okay, that's fine, whatever, I guess.
No, wait. There's more.
Oh,
the
no.
dev just released
DLC.
$50 DLC, which is discounted to $30 because the game just launched.
Oh, that's sweet
Wow.
of them. That's nice.
Wow.
So I think it's one of those things where the game is free to play, but that unlocks your the premium member version of the game.
Like what? Are you limited? Like it can only rotate 30 times a day, and then you have to buy more currency to spin it more each day. Like what?
So here's what the thread says. This is the description. Whirl the fidget spinner, ride the hoverboard, vape your dank mod, and enjoy the scenery.
Oh my god.
The whole trend theme of 2017 is in this game.
That is just so densely packed
It gets
with...
better. It gets better. The dev just released $50 DLC, launch discount at $30 with the following description. Unlocks premium member achievement, gives premium gold-plated fidget spinner, and gold-plated vape. So not only is it fidget spinner simulator, it's also vape mod simulator.
So it's 2 for 1, really. It's a deal. It's a steal.
It's a hell of a deal. And so this isn't like some shitty like 2D Flash game either. Like it's a fully rendered like polygonal like 3D game where it literally just shows the like a shot of like your right shoulder and just down onto your arm and shows the fidget spinner in your hand.
It's basically a screensaver.
So Jack brings up a
my
very good point. He exasperatedly said Unreal, but my question is it in Unreal 4?
Yeah.
Does it use the Unreal Engine?
I don't know. So the dev also spams a Pepe the Frog emote in almost all of his forum comments.
This is totally
Great
a joke,
achievements
dude.
too.
Dude, this is a troll. This is a troll.
Does anyone
It's
have
not
Steam
real.
open right now? Could they look this game up?
What?
Does anyone have Steam open right now? And can they look it up on the store?
I think I'm scared to open the fourth gate to hell if I try and search this game up on the internet right now.
I'll use Tor and incognito mode so that way it can't be traced back to me.
I can't even process this. You've got Pepe, you've got your sub omen, your dank memes, and your vape rig or whatever. Oh no.
Okay, so it's
no, Collin, no, step away.
It's a $1 Steam game.
It's a $1 Steam game. Okay.
Yeah.
It's $1 out of your pocket, but it's everything from your dignity.
So what's it say? What's it say in the description, Robert?
It says exactly what you read from the gaff.
Oh, okay.
Post.
That's all it says.
Yeah. It has the controls on it.
The controls.
Oh
yeah.
God. What do you do? Press R to spin?
Please tell me the controls.
Use the arrows or WASD in order to navigate the hoverboard. Press left shift to accelerate and press R to reset your position. Use the mouse to look around and press space to activate or deactivate the fidget spinner.
Wait, so you don't even have to like press like any buttons in succession to make it spin. You just got to press a button and it spins.
Oh, yeah. If it was a rhythm game, that might make more sense. But
so you ride a hoverboard, smoking your vape, and spinning your spinner all at the same time. It's
and
so
all your
fantastic.
Dank memes. Don't forget about those.
Oh, one more thing that OP said in this thread. So 241 mostly positive reviews on this game. Robert, can you confirm?
271.
It's gone up.
Mostly
Popularity is
positive.
escalating.
But here's the thing. All the ones that they're showing me right now, the most helpful reviews are all negative except for No, most of them are negative. However, all of them have like less than 1 hour in it. It's like
So
whatever. However,
they played it and then it got refunds.
However, this one man, this one being, this one entity here, 145.4 hours.
Oh my god!
In this game,
he never turns it off.
He just had to have left it running.
Guys, we found our official podcast mascot.
It's not.
Can we have
no?
Can we call this? Can we like email this guy and have him on as a guest?
Oh my
Like, how does
gosh.
it feel that you spend 145 hours of your life on
Could you
fidget
take
spinner
just
simulator?
half an hour, with not spinning those fidget spinners in a video game to talk to us?
Yeah, I know half an hour is like pocket change money to you, but hey,
Is this the polar opposite of Farming Simulator?
Farming Simulator is a good game though.
This is bad, guys. This is a bad thing that humanity has done with this game.
Dude, so
good.
like all of the comments on this post, it just says don't buy it. Just don't buy it. It's easy, simple, done. Just don't buy it.
Let the market decide.
So he actually spent hundreds of hours in it. I mean, I'm sure more than he's actually spun an actual fidget spinner in real life.
Probably. I've spent I think a total of maybe 10 minutes spinning fidget spinners in my entire life.
It's funny you bring this up because I was just thinking how really that kind of came and went. I thought, at least. Do you guys still see fidget spinners being a huge thing?
No,
It's the new Pogs. Like
it's kind of gone already. Like as fast. I mean,
hold the phone. Did you just compare it to the beauty of Pogs?
absolutely, it is the Pogs of this generation.
the new Tamagotchi pet, the new hit clips,
Pet Rock.
I don't know why, but I'm imagining now like an expansion to this fidget spinner game. Like, feed your fidget spinner. It dies if you don't feed it. And it's like literally Tamagotchi.
It lays eggs.
And then you have baby fidget spinners.
Yeah. No, it just lays a little sack where thousands of tiny baby fidget spinners leak out of when you step on it.
Oh god,
dude! Like, but all the memes. All the memes are ridiculous, man. Like seeing like screenshots of Beyblade, but like all those spinners are replaced with fidget spinners. Or like some dude's like, "Hey, I just got my nipples pierced and they're fidget spinners instead of piercings."
God,
Like, they're ridiculous.
This is gonna be something that we look back at 5 years from now and just shake our heads in shame.
Dude, I told you guys the story about like some kid coming into my local game store and trading in literally a pile of games, and he told my friend that works there, he's like, "Yeah, can I get cash for that, please? I just need more money for fidget spinners."
Wow, that hurts inner parts of my soul.
Yeah, it hurts every part of my being, to be honest with you.
Jesus,
Oh man,
that's awful.
and you know what? I'll bet GameStop will start taking fidget spinners too for store credit.
Oh, used.
Oh
Then you can
my
buy
God.
used fidget spinners.
Yeah,
He's got the coveted gold-plated fidget spinner. Oh
They're
no,
gonna-
he's got the platinum.
they're gonna open up brand new fidget spinners and then represent them as used and jack up the price.
Oh my God, dude! They're gonna start like fidget spinner like trading card games or something like that.
Oh, there's gonna be a black market. This is bad. This is the worst kind of.
They were in the
Dude,
darkest
so
timeline.
we're all gonna buy it, right? We're all gonna play it.
I already own it, actually. I was feigning surprise this whole time. I've owned it. I'm that guy
Oh
with
my
the
God.
He's the guy,
145.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
the guy.
one
You're
with
the 145 hour guy this whole
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
He's him. Pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm looking into the face of evil right now.
Oh my God, I do. Like, I don't even know how to feel. Like, I kind of want to fight this person for making this real, but
It's funny that it exists, but it is truly sad.
Yeah. This is the world we live in.
So hey, man, but hey, capitalism, make that money. You know, I wonder if like he's gonna get sued or anything by some kind of fidget spinner.
does somebody even have
entrepreneur out there.
like who does anyone have it copywritten or like
That's a
trademarked or anything?
That's a funny story, guys. It was I want to say it was a Texas woman that invented, quote unquote, the fidget spinner like years ago. Like I want to say like 15, 20 years ago. I'm sorry her name's escaping me right now. I don't know the fidget spinner inventor's name, okay, by heart.
God
Judge
forbid.
me. Yeah, but no, but she actually, she's just a normal person and she ran out of money and the patent had to lapse just because she didn't have enough money at that time. And so it just became kind of like
swing and a miss.
Free for all. Yeah. So she had the patent, but way before, decade before it ever got big, and it dropped and it lapsed. So sad story, but very interesting though.
You thought the former drummer of the Beatles had it bad.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Bitcoin stuff, right? Like people got rid of Bitcoin, and now look where it's at now, like over $3,300 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't you know about the guy that invested $50 in Bitcoins? Now he's a millionaire.
Is that real?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying, Bitcoin's crazy. Cryptocurrency, that's a whole nother hole we can go down later. But oh man,
we should probably at least welcome people. Yeah, welcome to TDP, the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
Bong bong.
What the fuck?
I'm working on a new sign-on, guys. Do you like that one?
You're workshopping it.
Yeah, it's just workshopping this.
Here's some feedback. It's weird.
Okay, I was going for
just a heads up.
and also Collin Sparling,
the fidget spinner master.
Oh man, what is
that? Was just
what
cringy.
Is this? What is this show, man?
Dude, I'm trying to top. Now I'm just trying to top Jack.
I know the pressure was on, and I didn't tell him I was going to do that. So good effort, I guess. Good effort, but continue.
Dude, I'm just waiting. Like reverse it
that.
like 10 years back when everyone put XX in front of their Xbox gamer tags. And like you're gonna have like XX fidget spinner master or something now instead of like 360 no scope #420 thing.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So what do you guys know about combat sports?
Like what? Like MMA, UFC,
all the above. Muay Thai.
We talk, like blood
checkers.
Sport. Like we talking Jean-Claude Van Damme. Oh yeah, checkers.
Dude, kickboxing. What do you guys? Yeah. What's your guys' background?
Wizard chess from Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's
I'm curious because I enjoy a good combat sport from now and again. You know, it's funny. I'm kind of going opposite of the trend against the grain. I'm kind of leaning more towards boxing now than MMA, which is very surprising to me. If you told me that I'd do that 5 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. But for various reasons I'll get into later, I'm more into boxing now. But where do you guys stand with this?
I was never like, there was a time when I was semi into UFC. I at least knew like the who's who of UFC. Because my buddy he was pretty big into it, and we were like best friends. So like by extension, of course, I got kind of into it.
Who was big when you were paying attention to it?
Like he was really into like Brock Lesnar.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Yeah. So I know. I think you mentioned one time that you really don't like Brock Lesnar. And my favorite fighter was Randy Couture at the time.
Yeah.
I really liked the natural Randy Couture. It was just always cool watching him fight. And George St. Pierre. But that's kind of like the extent of my knowledge. I don't really go out of my way to like go to somewhere where pay-per-view's playing, much less buy pay-per-view because it's like $50 for a fight. It's ridiculous.
More like $100 now, actually.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's definitely up to $100 for the big fights. They're usually around $60, I think, and they'll charge you a premium for HD as well. They'll charge you like $10 more, which is like.
I mean, if people are paying it, I guess hats off to them. I don't know.
They don't
it's
even
still
make like
they
don't even make like SD TV anymore, do they? Like you need like a digital tuner to get free channels, and I don't even know why they would do that. I mean, I know why, obviously, because they want more money. But so no Anderson Silva or anything like that, Collin?
I mean, I follow him a little bit. I know he's gotten beat once or twice, right?
A couple times now, I want to say.
Yeah, because he had a really bad knee injury for a while and then came back, something like that. Yeah, that's as far as I knew about that. But is he back now?
No. I'm just kind of curious, like because you were talking about a time with George St. Pierre and all those other guys. I figured that Anderson Silva was probably like king of the hill back then. So
definitely at that time. Yeah, Anderson the Spider Silva. Yeah, dude's crazy, man.
Where one of the most dominant champions of absolute all time and in history. Is like a once in a generation caliber athlete. But I'm curious, Robbie, you're kind of quiet there. Where do you stand on like combat sports overall? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are nondescript. I don't really care that it's there. Like, I don't hate it. I don't want it to not exist, but I'm also not going to pay attention to it. A lot of my knowledge is very like from the outside. Like I know the name Ronda Rousey just because everyone knows the name Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm aware of Brock Lesnar just because like Jack said, he's a huge, fun-loving guy.
Well, he also had a huge career in the WWE before he was ever in the Octagon. So
and I know more about him in the squared circle than I do in the Octagon.
Oh man! Hold on a second. Are you going to tell me, Robert, that you're into world wrestling? You're into professional wrestling, but you're not into like combat sports? Or are you
saying WWE?
Yeah, professional wrestling.
Okay, let's get one thing straight. It is not professional wrestling. It's professional dramatic acting with punches.
Okay. Yes, I don't disagree.
And I'm into that. This? I was in a time into that more than I ever was or probably will be into real combat sports.
Okay.
But
not anymore?
I mean, not as much anymore. Yeah, not really anymore, no. I mean, like, I hear some of their names every now and then, but, like, I am fully aware that it's, like, a TV show. Like, it's a very manly version of reality TV. But that's... I can't bring myself to get into like combat sports, not because like I need drama to be invested or anything, but it's just like it doesn't appeal too much to me. I know McGregor is really big right now, I think, in UFC.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
I've heard the big thing is him with Floyd Mayweather. They're going to box it out here in like a week or two?
It's coming up. I can't remember the exact date, but it's this month, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. They're doing like the huge promo tour for it right now, and of course you see fucking Conor McGregor over there talking shit. You fucking blah blah blah, you know,
dude. Conor talking to Floyd Mayweather the way he is in these like hype up shows all across the world is some of the most amazing entertainment I've ever experienced.
Craziest shit talk I've ever heard.
They're selling the fight like I've never seen a fight sold before. But hold on, before we get too much on a tangent, So Robert, just your official stance is just kind of like one of indifference, it sounds like.
Very much indifference. I don't care that it's a thing, but meh, not going to watch it.
Okay. I was just curious because it's something that we don't really talk about, outside of the podcast much. And I wouldn't say that I definitely have drifted away from MMA. Like I said, I'm more into boxing now. And so I definitely have eyes on this, just like the rest of the world, right? On this McGregor and Mayweather fight. But then also after that, and pretty much getting completely overshadowed in the mainstream, is actually probably one of the greatest boxing fights in years that is going to occur between Triple G, Gennady Gudayevich Golovkin from where is he from? From Kazakhstan, where Borat's from.
Me?
Yeah, he's from Kazakhstan, where Borat's from, and then he's fun. And he's a character, man. He's really funny. He's got a great interviewing presence and a really kind of funny accent. And, you could probably guess that from Kazakhstan. But he's a great boxer, and he's got cannons for arms, and he's like a knockout artist. Like I want to say he's like 92% knockout rate with and he's undefeated completely. And so he's fighting Canelo Alvarez, which Canelo is Spanish for cinnamon. And this guy is he's a character as well, too, because he's from straight up Mexico, right? He doesn't even speak English very well at all. But he has been described as a fighting Scotsman because he's completely like a redhead, like what you would expect, like very fair, very light skin, lots of freckles, super bright red hair. He looks like he's like Irish, but he's straight Mexican, man.
From Mexico?
Yeah, absolutely. He's totally from Mexico. He's Mexican as Mexican gets, man. But like I said, he looks totally like Irish. And so they're both knockout artists, and that's actually like the secret like big fight. People that pay attention to combat sports, this is like the actual big fight to watch, and it's happening I think only like a couple weeks after Conor McGregor and Mayweather. So that's really, if you want to get your money's worth and just see two like guys at the peak of their game, like two basic Mike Tysons. I mean, with their knockout rates, like someone's getting knocked out. I don't see that fight going past the 5th round at all. Wow. So that's actually like a really good fight to look forward to. And I definitely am going to go out to some bar somewhere and check that out. Like that's going to be a good time. And just a lot of people don't know about it, but obviously the story and the money, no pun intended, is in the Mayweather and the McGregor fight. So Robert, I know you're just kind of on the periphery of this whole, combat sport thing, but I'm sure you probably have heard of that as well too. It's reached you, I'm sure.
Like,
why it's a big deal, like Mayweather and Conor McGregor, like what it is and why it's a big deal.
No, but I am aware of Mayweather because I remember way back in the day when it was big that like Mayweather and Pacquiao were gonna like dance in the ring, and then they didn't.
That wasn't even that long ago, right? That was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I remember it being a thing because it was like one of them chickened out, and the other one didn't, and then the other one did, and it was like kind of one of those will they, won't they kind of things.
See, because I know you're a Pacquiao fan.
I mean, like only by extension of like he's Filipino, so I'm like. Yeah, I'm into. Yeah, you do the thing. Do Philippines proud, boy.
Yeah.
Is Pacquiao still fighting?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of a controversial question as well, too. He's like the governor, right? Isn't he? Or a senator. He's a senator in the Philippines. Yeah, he's a full-time politician now. And he just actually had his first fight like on national television or cable. It was on ESPN, I want to say, and it was free. And it was like, what, 2 months ago? And he actually lost to a guy that no one in the world had ever even heard of before. So it's basically like a Rocky story, where Pacquiao's usually the Rocky character. Pacquiao's usually the Rocky character, but everyone was expecting Pacquiao to destroy this kid. And this guy ended up winning in a very controversial decision where every boxing expert had Pacquiao winning. Because how can you land more punches at a more accurate rate and just basically outclass somebody, but then lose the fight? Like, objectively, Pacquiao landed more power punches and still lost the fight.
Wow.
So there's a lot of controversy around that. Like they're like having people like rewatch the fight and rescore it and all that, and it's not going to be an official decision. Obviously, the decision that's made at the time is the one that everyone's going to go with, but they're still like very highly contesting the results. But they're going to have a rematch, and we'll see where it goes.
Man, it's like something with Manny too, because like the Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao fight, that was pretty controversial too, wasn't it? Like it was
like every Mayweather fight, man. Every Mayweather fight. Here's the thing. Okay, I really dislike Floyd Mayweather, but I do respect him on a certain level. The reason why I dislike him is because he's not a fan-friendly type of fighter. He does the absolute bare minimum to win a match, but he wins them all very consistently. He is very, very intelligent. Probably one of the most ring-intelligent fighters in history. Seriously, it's not a hyperbole to say that. He is just so defensively genius in his skills and in his tactics, and so he'll steal rounds left and right, but it results in he's not offensive, right? So his fights are very boring to watch, but still no one can beat him and no one can hit him. So people that have been training their whole lives to go, to step up in a boxing ring can't even hit this guy. Manny Pacquiao, arguably the most offensive fighter in the last 50 to 100 years, he couldn't barely hit him. And so what hope does really Conor McGregor have, someone who's been doing MMA most of his life and not really a truly professional boxer? What hope does he have of really going in there? I think he's going to get taken to school. If I was putting money on it, absolutely be on Mayweather. But of course, everyone has a boxer's chance, or has a puncher's chance, right? Like all that Conor has to do is connect one time with that one hit and lights out. But can he really do something that no one has been able to do? Professional boxers that train, since childhood, they can't do it. So I don't know. That's kind of my thought on it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people that, everyone wants the underdog to win, right? Like everyone wants Conor to win because Floyd's kind of on that pedestal right now, right? So
yeah, and Floyd is not shy either about his money, about his wealth. His middle name's Money Mayweather, right? And so he's kind of like the Ted DiBiase $1 million man of boxing.
Wait,
what were you gonna say, Robert?
Is his middle name really for real? Like actually legally speaking, Money?
No, it's just his nickname. It's just his brand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's his brand is his brand is what is it? The Money Crew.
The Money Team. The Money Team, I think.
The Money Team. Yeah, like
TMT.
all of his. Yeah, him and all of his posse or whatever you want to call it. Like they all wear like the Money Team get up and all that. Like
but
anytime
the reason I respect him, though, is because he played the game of boxing like a fiddle, and he ended up on top. He's leaving on his terms. He's making over $200 million a fight now. He had a check in his pocket for over $200 million after that Pacquiao fight. Can you imagine having that in your back pocket? I can't even fathom that. But he plays everybody, and he always comes out on top, and he always is behind the scenes. He's just a chess master basically at everything. And he's not a especially strong puncher. He hasn't knocked anybody out in a very long time, and he has kind of broken hands from decades of fighting. So he's not really in danger of knocking anybody out, but he will win, and you'll not be able to hit him, and he'll be able to hit you just enough to steal rounds and win. So I give him a lot of respect.
Man,
yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, at the end of the day, the fight's just kind of like a money grab. Like, it's just, that's all it is, really. Like, they're gonna
1,000,000%.
no matter who wins or loses, they're both making a metric shit ton of money.
Like Conor is going to make the most he's ever made in a day. He's going to make over 100 million. Who knows? Floyd might make over 300 million. This is going to be way bigger than that Pacquiao fight, believe it or not. It's going to be insane. And it's going to be a spectacle. And it's going to be fun. But I just really can't see how Floyd cannot win this. I just don't see how he's not going to embarrass Conor McGregor. Hate to say it, but that's who I got. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win, Collin?
It's so likely that Floyd's probably going to win. I mean, I do, like, my heart of hearts tells me, like, oh, I want Conor to win just to, like, kind of knock him off that pedestal, because it would just be crazy to see that happen. But, like, I don't know. I if I was a betting man, I would probably put my money on Floyd too, just like you did.
You briefly brought this up when we were talking about combat sports at the top here, but you were talking about Jean-Claude Van Damme and, like, Kickboxer and, like, those old 80s movies. Robert, have you ever seen any of those?
No.
What?
No, sir, I have not.
I need to watch more myself.
Have you guys seen the movie where Jean-Claude Van Damme it fights this guy in, like, Thailand, and of course it's a villain that, like, kills his best friend or whatever, right? But he's fighting him in this tournament, and they have like wraps around their wrists and around their fists, and they dip it in, like, glue, and then they dip it in, like, this barrel filled with broken glass.
I need to see this movie.
I think it's Kickboxer.
I need to see this movie
sure. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah. And the guy he's fighting kind of looks like Sagat from Street Fighter. He kind of looks like him, but with a long ponytail. And his name is Tong Po. That's pretty hardcore bad guy name. So. And I'm pretty sure Tong Po, like, after, like, the glass is on his knuckles, like, pretty sure he just, like, licks it real slow and, like, just, like, bleeds his tongue out. Like, it's crazy, man. 80s movies were on another level.
I'm going to lick my knife. I just remembered it's poison. Drops.
Well, while we're on the topic of movies, I think let's talk about a movie that we've all seen, right, over the weekend, over this past week. Yeah. So we all kind of just watched Atomic Blonde, one of Charlize Theron's. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name.
Theron.
I thought Charlize Theron? I don't know.
Excuse you?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah. You kiss your mama with that mouth?
No, it's one of Charlize Theron's new films.
Charlize Theron.
Is it that?
I think so.
Anyway,
we're not entertainment reporters.
No.
This is E-News.
So that movie actually came out like 2 weeks ago, and I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it super flew under my radar, and I didn't want it to, because I remember seeing a lot of the marketing and the promotion for it like months ago and being like, oh, that looks cool. I want to see that. And then the marketing just kind of kept going and going and going, and I got too used to the idea of, like, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. It'll eventually get here. It's coming soon. So I completely missed, like, the actual day it dropped.
Right. And for me as well, just this whole year is flying by. It's already August. Like, I'm still getting used to writing down 2017, and it's like dang near 2018. You know, it always happens to me. So it was bound to happen, but it is essentially like the female James Bond, right? Or the female Jason Bourne, or the female John Wick kind of thing. Isn't that what they're going for?
Spy thriller kind of a thing.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't get. Well, so I was just gonna say we probably shouldn't get too, like, in depth with it, because it is only 2 weeks old. But I would like to talk about it a little bit. I know this is one of the first movies all three of us have seen on the podcast, so we should talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think off the top here, I can't guarantee we won't spoil anything, but we're definitely gonna try our best to not, just reveal the ending or anything. But for me, I think the first half of it, I was a little like, meh, this is okay. It's all right. It didn't really, like, grab me. There was nothing strong about it in the beginning that made me care about its characters or care about the plot. For those who don't know, this is set in a Cold War, like, days before the Berlin Wall gets torn down, 1989. Is that right?
Yeah, it takes place in Berlin,
yeah.
Reagan era.
Yeah, and it's in like East and West Berlin, so like tensions are high and all that kind of stuff. And then there's just like layers of intricacy and espionage and all that kind of stuff, and like warring factions and
spy versus spy.
Yeah, so
cats and dogs living together, human sacrifice, mass hysteria.
Yeah, so that's kind of what you're playing with here. The production value of the movie is pretty solid, I think. Lots of like neon color filters used throughout.
Yes,
very much, especially like in the hotel rooms and stuff. Just for some reason, like everything had to be blue in some way or purple, and a lot more nudity than I expected. Personally,
a lot more.
Yeah, there was more than I expected.
A lot more, but
there aren't a lot of rated R movies anymore.
Yeah,
just for financial purposes, and so to see one that's like, oh, this is for adults, like. Yeah, it was a little surprising, but I wouldn't say more than I expected.
Right. But I do think the second half of the movie, it picks up, and that's when I started getting really into it and actually kind of caring about what's going on and caring about, the main character's kind of drive and purpose into what they were trying to do toward the end of the film. And I walked out of that theater kind of like pleasantly surprised at how good the film ended up being, personally.
Awesome. Collin, what did you think, man? I'm curious.
So, so me and Robert went and saw it together. I'm kind of with Robert where like the first half was a little bit of a doze. It was a little bit of a doze fest. It wasn't terrible because only for the fact that I was kind of really liking the cinematography that they went with. I liked a lot of towards the beginning of the movie they use a lot of natural color or natural lights. Or like natural light and like darker kind of color palette that I really liked. They use like a lot of black and whites, a lot of blues. It's really kind of doom and gloomy at the beginning, and then they kind of shift towards more using neon, which I don't know. It's the way they used the color palette and the cinematography, and they shift that is really really nice. But I think that the story isn't something that you really come and stay for in this movie. I really think it's very okay. The actors themselves and the cinematography are definitely what carry this movie, at least for me. Even like there's a really long action shot towards the beginning, maybe last third of the movie, and it's so well done and so. It's one of those things where like you're kind of in awe, like how did they get all of this in one shot? Because there's just so much shit happening in this like I don't know what was like 20 minutes, Robert?
Yeah, it was like a 10-15 minute action scene where they were going like up and down a building, like downstairs, up elevators, like there was a lot of movement, but it was all shot with one shot from one camera. Like there were no cuts. There could have been some cuts maybe, right? Like, when they're kind of panning along walls and stuff, it'd be pretty easy to edit that in. But they wanted to give you that sense of like, you're right there. You are in the action and you are following them. And it was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. And the acting job in this movie is so good. I can't pronounce her name. I'm not going to try and butcher it again. But the main character, the main actress, she does
Charlize
a really
Theron.
Yeah, Charlize Theron. I'm not excited. Charlize?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Charlize.
Whatever. I'm just going to drop it. Anyway, so she does a really good job as like the main like protagonist or whatever. She plays like the James Bond type badass chick really, really well. And, even Percival, who's played by the dude from like X-Men.
James McAvoy.
James McElroy.
McAvoy.
He does McAvoy. Oh God,
2 for 2.
Yep. Anyway, so James McElroy, he does
can't
what?
That had to be on purpose.
Just quit trying to say his name. Just quit.
Oh my God.
Just say Professor X.
Okay, jeez. I can't. I just can't. Anyway, point being, he does a really good job playing the crazy dude, and I don't know, his part in the movie just it escalated it that much farther for me. So yeah, generally good film. Don't stay for the story, stay for the acting and the cinematography.
Jack, what did you walk out of it with?
I'm very up and down with this movie because, like you, I was bombarded with all of the marketing and with all of the kind of teasers and everything coming out. And actually, it was released here in Austin March 12th at South by Southwest.
Wait, what?
Is when it was when it was like debuted.
Oh, okay.
And so they continued to work on it, and then it was in a wide release July 28th. So I've been bombarded, right, with like the message of Atomic Blonde, like it's been here for a while. And so one of the first things I noticed was that, okay, the action looks awesome. This looks like a female John Wick. This is going to be cool. Charlize Theron is doing her own stunts. She's training really heavily. Like, this is going to be a cool movie to watch and stylistic, much like Zack Snyder's movies are. So I was up with that. And then I watched a couple trailers, and I immediately saw parallels, at least from a costume perspective, maybe not from a character perspective, but from an image perspective, with James McAvoy's Percival character and Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Like, there's a lot of parallels with their haircut, with their eyeglasses, with the fur jacket, fur coat, and I could not get past that. And I was like, they are just totally ripping off Brad Pitt in Fight Club here. So I just really, like, it was like a wall for me.
I was thinking the same thing. That's really funny that you say that.
I didn't even notice.
I think it's totally. Well, now do you think so? Now that I mentioned it,
now that it's one of those, like, I can't unsee it now.
Right,
but
it bugged me. Yeah, it's like seeing the Bomberman character in the cover of BioShock 2. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
Oh God damn!
So
yeah, it's real. No, the struggle's real.
Turns out Tyler Durden's he's real.
So, man, fat of the land. So I was struggling with that. I was like, oh, now this is just derivative. And now I think that, okay, clearly these people have just seen Fight Club and are just trying to make a movie like of that ilk here. And
yeah, honestly, he kind of channels that same character too. That's really funny.
I just thought that I really, from previous conversations we've had about movies, I think you guys know that I really appreciate subtlety. And I really appreciate when the director and when the film respects its audience's intelligence and knowledge of films, rather than being beaten over the head with a certain concept. And I definitely felt a little bit of the beaten over the head concept of, this is the 80s, this is the 80s, this is the 80s. You guys know it's the 80s, right? This is Russia, it's Russia, it's Russia, with all the music and with all the everything. Like, they try and use music in a very artistic way here to kind of accentuate the mood and accentuate the action. But I mean, come on, guys. How many times can you play 99 Luft Balloons in a movie and like have it like hit, right? Like, it was played multiple times. It's like, come on, like, eye roll. Like, I get it. This is the 80s. I understand. You don't have to play every 80s Depeche Mode or Bowie song, or, you know what I mean? Like,
to be fair, I really appreciated when they played Behind the Wheel by Depeche Mode, because that's one of my favorite songs.
No, it's cool. I'm just saying, like, I think it was just overused. Like, it was just like, a lot of parts were just like a big long music video, and, it's the 80s. It's the 80s. Get it? It's the 80s. So that was also, I thought it was more distracting to me than anything. That being said, I do respect that scene you brought up, like that 20-minute single cut, or at least it's an illusion of a single cut. I can kind of notice where the cuts are just because I pay attention to that stupid kind of thing, and I ruin movies for myself all the time. But I appreciate the vision of what they're going for with that fight. And that fight scene was very intense, and I honestly think that fight scene was worth going to the movie just alone to see that. Honestly, that's how I felt about it. I thought it was very masterfully done. Mm-hmm. And I thought there was a good arc to it, and the stakes are high. People may live or may die, and the danger's real. And I definitely felt that intensity, and I definitely was making faces during some of the action sequences, like like it was brutal, and very bloody, and very artistic with the blood splatters in certain scenes as well too. I thought that I saw some blood on the wall. I was like, oh, that's a cool thing they did right there, I guess. So I think overall, I think that this movie is good. I don't know if I went into it maybe trying to hate it a little bit too much, but I didn't get as much enjoyment as I had hoped to get out of it. I since have gone back and like kind of reviewed the plot. I think that there are some interesting things that are done here, and I do like the way that the female protagonist is portrayed in this film. She's very strong, very capable, very independent. I like that as opposed to, now don't get me wrong, I love Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman has like her dashing like blonde guy with her and all that, and say whatever you want about that. But I liked how Charlize Theron's character was in this, and her kind of whole story arc. I just liked how it all wrapped up. So I would say, watch it. It's fun, but don't expect the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, question I kind of want to throw at you two. Did either of you read the graphic novel the movie's based on?
It was based on a graphic novel. That actually makes a lot of sense because of how stylized it was.
Everything is based on something. Yeah, everything is a remix now. So it's crazy. No, I never did read that.
No. Yeah, it was based on The Cold City. I was just wondering if either of you read it. If you could comment on how close it was to the source material.
Okay.
I have no clue.
Did you read up anything on it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think overall it's kind of like I'm sensing like lukewarm reception from all of us. Like it's good, but it's not like you have to see it good. You know?
I was telling Robert yesterday, Jack, as we were leaving the theater. Well, first I agree. We both agreed that like the centerpiece of the film was that long shot. But secondly, like it's a movie that I would like. If I saw it on a streaming service, I would probably throw it on in the background or something like that, just because I know that particular scene is there, and I kind of like the visual style that they go for. But otherwise, not really much of a reason to watch it again.
I think it sets a cool universe. I thought John Goodman's character was really cool. I always love John Goodman. He's one of my favorite actors ever. Yeah. He's great in everything he does. But I did like the ending. I did like that. Spoilers. There is like a sort of twist at the end, and I did like how it ended. And I think it sets the stage for a potentially awesome sequel. Which you know what? If they came out with a sequel, I probably would go see it in theaters. I probably would. Yeah,
I don't probably would.
I don't imagine one existing personally, but if it happened, I wouldn't say no.
I mean, the movie has more than made up its money already. It was a budget of $30 million, and it's already at the box office just domestically at almost $47 million. So it's already profitable, and that's really all that matters, And think how much money it's going to make in the secondary and tertiary market. Like it's going to be a very profitable venture. So I think that it's not out of the realm possibility that a sequel could happen. And with Deadpool and Logan, like there's a lot of R-rated movies. There's a market for this they're discovering. So
yeah.
So when you said it was based on a graphic novel, Robert, is that singular, like graphic novel? Like there's only one book?
Yeah, from my understanding, it's just like one long book, one long novel.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next section of our podcast here. So what games have you guys been playing over the past week? Collin, do you want to start off?
Oh, yeah, I can start off. So just real quick, just like a quick 30-second thing. I did actually just finish Yakuza 0. Just to follow up on, I know I talked about it quite a few times before, but just to follow up on like after finishing the game. Very, very great game. I cannot recommend it enough, honestly. Fun gameplay, man. The story is just 10 out of 10 up there as one of the best game stories I've ever played.
Whoa.
For sure.
How long is it about?
It honestly, it can take kind of as long as you want it to. If you just went straight through like all the story, about 20 hours.
Respectable.
But there's so many side missions and so many other things you can do. It took me like 60 hours. So
yeah,
like there's I only got a 14% completion on it. But
what?
Yeah,
okay, wow.
Yeah, 14% after I beat it. Yeah. But yeah, everything, dude, the characters, the boss fights, everything about the game, just 10 out of 10 would recommend. I'll even let you guys borrow my copy.
How's the combat feel?
Pretty solid. Like it's fun. Like, and it only gets better because you get upgraded as you go.
Okay.
But anyway, to the game that I've been playing real quick. So I've been playing. I threw it back a little bit to my childhood. Been playing a little bit of Prince of Persia: The Warrior Within, and I wanted to see how well this game held up because I got a hold of the HD collection for PS3 a couple years back, and so yeah, I've been playing it on there. And let me tell you, like, this game does not, like, overall does not hold up very well. Not at all.
Really?
I wouldn't suspect so. I would almost imagine that once it starts up at the title screen, you're probably got like Godsmack or like Dragula or something like that in the background, just based on the cover art.
It's funny that you say that because I don't know if you remember, but Godsmack's actually on the soundtrack.
I had a feeling. No, I think I did know that, and I forgot it.
Yeah, wasn't it I Stand Alone? Right.
I think so. It was honestly. They probably could have gotten away with licensing it as being like the Scorpion King game. Like, it wouldn't have surprised me.
This is like around the time where like Slipknot's like, you know, second or third album was coming out, and like being all bloody and all edgy was like cool. That's
the thing, dude. Like, this game is basically like Edgelord the game. Like, in terms of like, Edgelord for like the year 2004 or something like that.
Oh yes, I remember those times.
Yeah, it's just like so the gameplay is still solid. Like it's solid gameplay. It translates over from Sands of Time very well. And it's fun to play. It's just that like, and even the visual style itself, like in game, is not bad. Like the general world, the atmosphere, it's pretty nice. It's not bad. It honestly, the world and like that you play on, like the main play area, feels more akin to like almost like the architecture is like reminiscent of a Shadow of the Colossus or something like that. Very
it's
vaguely.
big open world like that.
No, it's not open world, but it's like the whole decaying architecture and a lot of rock faces and it's very gray.
So what you're saying is not only is the character edgy, but the world is edgy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And his struggle,
but
his struggle is also
the
edgy.
character and the enemies, dude, are like 100% all edge, and like you go like you get onto the island and you pick up a sword. It's like you got the spider sword, like it's just too much, man. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like if Underworld puked all over Prince of Persia or something like that.
This is where this series took a very weird turn because
it's like this game is just the redheaded stepchild of the trilogy, like in terms of look and story.
I mean,
was the one that came after this just the Prince of Persia on 360?
No, it's Two Thrones.
The Two Thrones, which actually I played a little bit of that too recently just to see how it compares, and it definitely harkens back to like, okay, what was good about Sands of Time, and they just brought that back in the third game, I felt like. And then they added a little bit of, I think it was post God of War that game came out, so we might have added a little bit of that in there too. But like it definitely felt a lot more like Sands of Time. It wasn't a crazy left turn like the second game was. But yeah, it's just like lots of blood. They make it like extra gritty for no good reason. And they have that like stock guitar, like metal guitar soundtrack going on while you're playing.
This ain't your dad's Prince of Persia.
Yeah, no shit. Like might as well, dude. It's like I felt like I was watching like West Coast Choppers or something like that with the generic like guitar in the background. Like today we're gonna look at this transmission and do a complete flip on this '69 Cadillac.
Good luck getting your parents to buy this for you for Christmas. This is
pretty
hardcore.
much. Like even like when you do like the first shitty boss fight against this underclad woman at the beginning with two swords, like it's like there's like a short cutscene where he literally just cuts your dude on the face, and he's like, "You bitch!" I'm like, "Oh my god, this is just oozing with edge." And so one of my last gripes with this game is the sound design is absolute shite. Like it's so bad. Everything sounds like it's got 10,000 layers of reverb thrown on it. Like every sword clack, it's like it's so bad. Like you just can't hear anything. Like you hear the little bit of music and you hear a little bit of footstep, but otherwise you just don't hear it. There's nothing. And even the sound cuts out, like the music cuts out every once in a while, like abruptly. But yeah, that's what it is, man. It's just it's a game of the times. It's not bad to go back and play. It's like it's still playable, but it's just from a look and sound perspective, not good.
Yeah, see, I remember playing this game like way back in the day, and I even remember as a young boy without really much of a critique's mind. Like you just play. There was a time when you were young, you kind of just play games. It's like, oh, it's fun.
Good.
I get to do this.
You're playing it now. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets the job done.
I remember even then I was kind of like, I don't like this game. It's not that great. And because from what I remember of it, it's like there's that dark, like that big dude that you cannot kill for like the whole game until the end, right?
Yeah, it's like Dakoth or something like that.
Yeah, it has a stupid name. And every time you've run into it, it's just another one of those like run toward the screen segments, or like you're running away from it segments. See,
I didn't even get that far.
Yeah, and I remember that being really annoying because like Sands of Time and Two Thrones are both like, they both have that feeling of like grand adventure, where it's like you're on a big quest to do this or that, not like I'm at Five Nights at Freddy's and I'm trying to stay away from this one thing because it'll eat me.
Right. Well, yeah, especially if they're using that game's mechanics and you're doing one of those things where you're running towards the camp. I don't see how that works at all.
Well, it's the idea of like, if you miss a pitfall while you're running, you just kind of boot back and then.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Such a sad chapter in this series, and it's an extra shame because to me, it just signified the failure of one of the best games in the series, which was just Sands of Time. That game is still excellent. That game has a lot of innovation, a great art style, great play. No one bought it though. So, I mean, the market has spoken. No one bought it. So, like, you know what? We need more edge. This time we're coming back. Get Godsmack on the phone right now. We're doing this. And
dude,
so,
it had to have been like Ubisoft, like, hey, Prince of Persia team, you got to like make it like this because that's what's selling nowadays.
I know. It's sad, man. I didn't buy it. I bought the first one.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally tell. I mean, it's not a bad entry in the series, like to play, but
yes,
it's just
yes, it is.
It's just, dude, it's just so. You just gotta sift through the crap to really get to the meat part of the game.
It's where the series lost me, and I'm not going back. There's nothing really that came out after that made me want to go back to the game. Now, while we're totally like piling on Prince of Persia here, have you guys seen the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it at all?
Nope. Yeah.
You have seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, Robert's shaking his head.
Yep.
Okay, so I have to vent to you guys because what year did that come out? Like maybe 10 years ago, 10 years ago?
Oh, man.
Long ass time. It doesn't matter.
2010, 2011.
But the idea I need to convey to you guys is that this still haunts me to this day. I hate something. I'm going to spoil this stupid movie for you. The king, who is like...
2010.
Okay, thank you. The king of this kingdom of Persia or whatever, he gets assassinated. And it still bothers me today in 2017 the way he died. Okay. Listen to this, guys. I'm not making this up. The king gets assassinated because I can't even say it with a straight face because he puts on a poison robe.
Wait, that's not right.
What?
Hold on.
Someone poisons his robe, his Snuggie, okay? Someone poisons his Snuggie, and then when he puts it on, he basically just like calcifies and dies, and like steam's coming out. He like melts like the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz.
What?
And I was like, at the time, I was like, this movie sucks. I was like, this is the worst of all the ways you can kill off a character. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I was there in that time and that's not historically accurate and they were poisoning robes left and right in Persia. I don't know. I would hope not, but
what
even
they do, cover his robe in sulfuric acid?
I don't know, but even who cares? Even if it's a stupid concept, right? It's like one of the dumbest ways to kill somebody ever. But my point being is that was the best they could do.
No, I need to probe into this now. I need to scratch that itch I'm having. So, like, is it magic poison or like ammonia?
He was killed by a poison robe. I just like, dude, I don't know, but like he started steaming and then he just died.
Yeah, you're saying he started steaming and then what, like he evaporated or just like
he just slumped over into like a clump. And now the king's dead because of his robe. Your face right now, Collin.
Like you think
I don't remember this part. I don't remember this.
It's absolutely how he dies, and it's still here 7 years later. It bothers me to no end. I think guys, I spend time in my life sometimes thinking like, fucking stupid poison robe, like,
dude. Yeah, I don't remember that part, and the funny thing is, I don't remember hating the movie. Like,
I didn't remember loving it, and then look at Ubisoft now, like what with Assassin's Creed, another horrible movie. Like, how can you take Michael Fassbender, like one of the best actors of modern times, in my opinion, and just total crap movie? So
yeah,
not a good track record.
I didn't.
What's that?
Oh, you saw the Assassin's Creed movie?
No, of course not. I have my. Yeah, I have standards.
Oh, you have standards.
but like Uwe Boll, right? Like he's the ultimate master of the video game movie. He made that Blood Rain movie that was horrible. He made Far Cry. I don't know if you guys knew that. He made a Postal movie. He wanted
Postal movie?
Yes, absolutely. There's a movie based on Postal. It might be on Netflix, but all of Uwe Boll's movies are complete crap. Guys, one of the great horrors of my life was that he wanted to make a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Oh no.
And if he did that, like it would have destroyed the entire series for me. Now, do you guys know there is a Metal Gear Solid movie in production now though?
I did hear an inkling about that.
Yeah, the guy who did the latest movie, I guess it was a success. I didn't see it though. I do want to see it. Kong Island or whatever. The movie that just came out this year.
I've heard it's good. I heard about this.
Kong Island?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Kong Skull Island.
I do want to see that movie. That movie looks pretty entertaining, actually. You got Samuel L. Jackson, you have all kinds of different actors in there and just having fun. It looks like a good time. But anyways, that director is helming Metal Gear Solid, which good luck, dude. good luck cramming that all into one film. Without destroying the character, because part of the DNA of Metal Gear to me is like good guys and bad guys talking about nonsense for like an hour straight. Just put the controller down. You don't need that controller. You're gonna be sitting here listening to us talk about movies, for an hour or something. It's stupid.
The best handgun in the world.
Like, I honestly have no idea how they're gonna make a Metal Gear movie. Like, even if they only want to adapt like one game, like I'd assume probably Metal Gear Solid 1, unless they want to go all the way back to Metal Gear. But
yeah, doesn't it at that point just turn into like a Rambo movie
in Metal Gear?
Yeah, like he just infiltrates some camp and saves somebody. He
infiltrates it, finds out who his daddy is, and then kills his daddy, and then he does it again in the second game.
Nanomachines, right? The nanomachines.
No, that's Revengeance.
I see.
Nanomachines, son.
All right. So hey, good luck to that guy. He did put a good movie out, and he does seem to, from the interviews I've heard him in, he does seem to have a respect and a proper reverence for Metal Gear. So we'll see. I'm nervous about it, but I wish him luck.
I think it'll be a feat in and of itself.
Yeah. But, you want to talk about a game you were playing, Robert?
Yes, I do, and I know this is a game that you've also been playing literally about a couple minutes before we started hitting the record button here.
That's real.
Yeah. So I played the game of the week, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah, that game is bonkers.
It's pretty crazy, and I got hit with the triple whammy this week, right? When we were talking about, or we were meeting Monday, like we found out in a meeting that, this game that I've been looking forward to ever since E3 last year, actually. Ever since E3 last year, I was like, I'm looking forward to this game. This is like the spiritual successor to Heavenly Sword. This is Hellblade. This is, the same company, Ninja Theory, and they make quality stuff. What has Ninja Theory made? They've made DMC.
DMC, they did Enslaved Odyssey to the West. They've done,
which I played,
yeah, Heavenly Sword. Yeah, they've got a pretty good track record.
Yeah, definitely. And so I was excited. So then I found out, like, all in the space of like 10 seconds, I was like, oh crap, this game is coming out on PC. I thought it was going to be PS4 exclusive. And I was like, oh crap, this game's coming out tonight. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh crap, this game is only $30. And then instantly I kind of panicked. I was like, wait, hold on. Why is this game only $30? Most AAA games are $60 when they launch, and they go on sale in the future. But I was like, okay, maybe it's just a shorter experience, more focused. I come to find out through some research that this is basically an independent game, right, Collin? Like, they put up their own money to do this, and they just delegated like a small section of their total studio to make this game in-house with no publisher backing at all. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're kind of going to the marketing that it's an indie AAA game because it's got like the feel and the look of AAA.
Triple I?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard that term?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No. So yeah, I played like 2.5, 3 hours so far. And I remember I was telling Collin the other day that like I played an hour of it, and it was one of those surreal experiences where I was in it. Like, I wanted to know more of what this game had, but I was like, I need to put this controller down. I need to stop. I need to get up and do literally anything else right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's just so it's so fucking, it fucks with you.
It's
in
engrossing.
Your head.
It's engrossing.
Yeah. So what makes this game so weird is that, well, not weird, but it's trying to kind of give you an idea of what psychosis is like. Like, the people at Ninja Theory have talked with a lot of neuroscientists and, psychologists and stuff, and they try to, create a game where it'd make the player feel what it's like to have psychosis. And in the game's universe, they call it the darkness, but it's essentially the same idea.
Okay.
And they recommend that you play headphones with this game, and I wholeheartedly agree. If you buy this game, play it with headphones. It makes the experience that much better. Like, Jack, did you play it with headphones or speakers?
Not yet. I've only played about the first hour to hour and a half so far, and like you said, like the very first, so the game starts, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it starts with a credit like sequence, and the very first credit that listed is the mental health advisor. Right, that's the first one you see, and so they did invest a lot of time in like making sure that mental illness was accurately portrayed or as much as possible. You know, they want to make sure they weren't trying to draw parallels to it that may not exist. They wanted it to be for you to really feel like you were going through something mentally challenging, and it kind of stuck me early, right? Like when she's in probably the first 10 minutes or so, you start hearing all these whispers and all these voices like left and right, and that's why it's real important to have the headphones on, because it, again, with the spatial like way that the voices are working, it can be startling and just adds to the experience and to the ambience of the whole thing. And so they started saying stuff to me, the voice in my head, and it didn't take me but maybe 3-4 minutes before I started like realizing how people can be like repeating what the voices say like out loud, like they're right, they're getting me, oh gosh, like, you know, like I just wanted to, like, the idea was getting drilled in my head, and I'm just like, I'm gonna start getting jittery, and I was definitely very uncomfortable, but it was a fun kind of uncomfortable, because it was interesting to see a game that was capable of making me feel that way. So it's definitely different. It definitely stands on its own. I think it's wholly, I mean, from what I've seen so far, again, I'm very early in a short game anyways. What is it, about 4 or 5 hours?
I've heard up to 6 or 7.
Okay, and so it is a shorter experience, you know, but again, that's why hence the $30 price tag, which I totally, so far what I've played, I would definitely say it's worth it. I'm very interested to see where it goes. It's a kind of puzzle based, which was surprising. It's kind of like 50% puzzle, 50% combat. The combat's not very deep, but no, it looks phenomenal. I'll say that on a technical perspective, because I'm playing it at 1440p resolution, and it fully supports a 21:9 aspect ratio. And man, when a game does that, it makes me like, so I feel like it was worth it, the investment, right, that I made into it, because it's not cheap. But for the first time in a very long time, I was like, man, I'm taking a screenshot of this. Like, it looked that good. I was like, the game has a photo mode, and I'm like, I'm taking a picture of this. This looks fantastic. So I'm definitely going to keep playing it. It's short enough where I could see myself definitely finishing it, and I hope it continues to surprise me, because I definitely want to, as soon as we get off the podcast here, I definitely want to pick up a controller again and play it.
Yeah. One thing I did kind of want to bring up with this game. Now, Jack, how do I ask? Are you aware of the what it can do to your save file?
Yeah, it reminds me of Steel Battalion. We were just talking about a couple weeks ago. Okay. Yeah, if you don't hit eject, you're gonna lose your save. But basically, I think the way this mechanic works is there's like this black tar, like this mark on her arm, every time darkness, and every time you die, it gets a little bit closer to her head, and if it reaches her head, it just basically deletes your save. It's pretty hardcore. Did you know about that, Collin?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you guys mentioned something about it the other day, but I didn't know that to what extent. Yeah, that's crazy.
So at the beginning, they just straight up tell you, and this is a game, by the way, there's no HUD. You know, there are like no context clues. Like, I remember when I first started the game, there was like, I had to figure out what the run button was instead of it telling
there's
you.
No
you know,
HUD,
like,
and there's no tutorial. Like, how weird is it now to play a game with no tutorial? Like, you just expect it. I was surprised by it. It's not a bother to me. Like, I'm used to digging into a manual and learning controls before I pick up a game, but it was just kind of surprising.
Yeah. So there's no HUD. There isn't even like a health bar, you know, to know how much damage you've taken or anything. They kind of do that thing, you know, like the edges of the screen turn a little bit red. And like Senua herself will like look more hurt and like, you know, struggle to swing her sword more and stuff like that. But there's no like raw, you know, you have 10% of your health left or something like that. Yeah, there's like no HUD to speak of, and I think the game really benefits from that, because it really just immerses you into it, and you really feel like, I am Senua. I am going to hell to save my boyfriend, kind of a thing. You know, because that's like her ultimate quest.
Spoilers.
It's part of, like, it's,
you learn
right
that in the first 5-10 minutes.
I know.
It's like saying that Sonic collects rings is a spoiler. No, so yeah, their permadeath permasave feature. How did it make you feel, Jack, when you first read that on the screen and it was like, if you die too much, your story ends?
It made sense when I looked at the difficulty settings in the menu, and the difficulty mine was set to was auto. So it seems to like kind of smartly pick up how good you are at the game and then making it harder or easier depending. So it kind of made sense to me. I was like, oh, well, you know, this game's going to adapt to whether or not I'm doing well or whether or not I'm doing poorly. So I would hope though that it'd be really, really hard to die that many times in the game if they're going to go to those lengths. But it does add a very real sense of loss if you do get to that point, you know. And they'll probably drive you insane, which is probably their end goal here anyways.
Yeah.
Right. No, I was just going to ask, it's funny that you say that because I remember reading one of the reviews and one of them mentioning that there's a difficulty spike. And that could be the reason why, because you set it to auto and it automatically adjusts to your like how well you're doing in the game.
Right. The better you're doing, the harder it's going to get. And you have an option. You can toggle that off too. You can just set it to easy mode or medium or hard. And I like the idea of auto. I'll see where it goes. If it starts getting too hard, then you can always ratchet it down. I don't think there's any penalties for that or anything.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, though. This is kind of like newsy, I guess, because this kind of came up the day after it was released, or kind of like later on toward like the end of the release day. But people started trying to, like get their save deleted, where they just keep dying over and over and over again. So as far as I know, it's still kind of unconfirmed, but it seems a little bit bogus. As in, like, they kind of told it to you, and then it's, like, kind of not real. I remember reading some reports that say, like, when you reach certain checkpoints, they kind of, like, reset your counter of, like, how many times you've died.
Down a little bit?
Or something like, something like that. Okay. So, like, ideally, like, I think they were going for a way where it was supposed to be, like, really, really, like, you have to be bad. You have to be trying to be bad.
Okay.
To get your save deleted.
Well, I would hope.
Yeah, but I'm honestly like a little bit miffed that that's already making the news, because I think it takes away so much from the game. Because I remember in like that first hour when I learned that, and then like my entire impression of the game was like, this is a great game. This is an atmospheric as hell game. Mm-hmm. This is a game that really puts you in the boots of this struggling woman who's just,
and let me say, not to interrupt you real quick, but like her acting so far is so believable, so good. Yes. It was really striking, and I think just the graphical fidelity just lends to that, because I think that her character design, it is a little derivative, though, you have to say, of Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what that was my initial impression. Was
but I mean, Horizon. Those characters were developed years ago, so you just have to take it for what it is, which is a little bit of a crazy coincidence. But still, I think that the facial acting and the facial modeling animation is absolutely like top of the game here in this game, no pun intended.
Yeah, no, there are points where, like, I remember in the beginning there was one part where Senua is kind of like doing a monologue, and it's like she's talking to someone else, but they like turn the camera instead of, because it's normally like a Resident Evil 4 kind of camera where it's like right behind her, kind of like over the shoulder. Mm-hmm. But there's a point in that scene where they just kind of turn the camera so you're like looking at her, so like she's talking to you. And it made me uncomfortable. It made me feel like I did something bad to her. Like
for sure.
The way she looks at the camera, and by extension, like into your soul. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I haven't felt that way about a character in a while.
Dude, the part, and this is way early on, okay, so I don't really count this as a spoiler, but the part where the voices are talking and they're just going kind of crazy in her head, and then she looks at the camera. This might be the part you're talking about. She looks at the camera, and then the voice goes, "She sees us." I totally panicked, dude. It really was like a moment for me. I was like, oh, she knows we're here.
Mm-hmm.
It really broke that fourth wall in a very effective way. So I think they're doing things here that no other game I've played in recent times is achieving. And like I said, I mean it when I say, like, I want to play this game more. I want to see what happens. I'm invested in the story this early, and it's got its hooks into me. The puzzles are challenging. Like right now, I'm stuck on a puzzle to get to Valraven. And so I will, I'll look forward to the challenge. It seems attainable, but it will make you think.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't recommend this game enough. Honestly, it's got like part walking simulator to it. Like there are parts where
for sure.
I choose not to run, and I just walk just to kind of soak in that scenery and kind of like soak up the atmosphere.
See, I've got full-time run on. I turn toggle on, so I just hit the button once, and she's running all the time.
Gotcha.
But the atmosphere is completely there.
Yeah. I just want to soak up all of it, because I think the voices are the strongest part of this game for sure. Like there are parts when you're like in combat and there are other enemies, like instead of like, because you only focus on one enemy at a time. There's not big sweeping attacks or anything like that. And when another enemy is about to attack you, one of the voices just whispers behind you and stuff like that, and it's like it's so good.
Collin, what are your thoughts on this game? I know it's out on PS4.
I mean, I didn't know what to quite think about it on like my initial impression of the game before all the reviews rolled out, but based on all the reviews, man, it looks it looks like a really interesting game, and especially you guys telling me all that, like hearing you guys talk about it, it's convincing me more and more to buy it, especially since it's a half price game. And it is available on PS4. Really disappointed that there's no physical release, but I feel like that would be something like Limited Run jumps on or something like that, where they do like a limited physical release.
I didn't realize it's not out on disc. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not a physical release. It's only in the store, but we'll see.
What I appreciate about it is it's trying to do something unique. And I think so far it's succeeding, and I'm a sucker for kind of indie games that, dare to do something different. So
yeah, it sounds up my alley for sure. So
yeah,
awesome.
I think depending on how this game ends, I might still be talking about it at the end of the year. And even then, I think it deserves a brief mention just for what it's trying to do.
We'll see.
We're in a good year of games, man. That's all there is to it.
It's been a great 4 years, man. It's been an awesome run.
Let's move on to another game, though. Jack.
Yes.
You're a little excited.
Yes. What is it? What's the day? What was yesterday?
Tuesday.
And what happened Tuesday?
Overwatch.
You're just trying to troll me now. Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. No, yeah. Overwatch's Summer Games 2017.
It's a reason to care about loot boxes now again.
Kind of.
Yes. I may or may not have spent some real world money on loot boxes yesterday.
Already? It's the second day.
I may have already attained 2 or 3 legendary skins.
You have 3 weeks to grind.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
It's fun spending money, isn't it?
It is fun. I'm not gonna lie. But what happened? Explain to the people here what happened yesterday in Overwatch. What changed?
They added a brand new game mode that's never ever been seen before called Lucio Ball, and by brand new I mean it's the same thing from last year with small changes.
You just can't help but troll, can you?
No, this is actually, I don't care. I don't like it.
Lucio Ball's okay. It's fine. It's a fun little aside, like for 3 weeks out of the year.
But counterpoint, Rocket League?
Right. It's wholly like derivative of Rocket League.
Yeah. Like, why not just boot up Rocket League for, the other 49 weeks of the year?
Fair point. But I'm happy in a world where Lucio Ball exists rather than a world where it doesn't exist.
I guess I was just hoping for something new. Something a little more like a peek behind the curtain. Because now this kind of establishes a precedent, right? Of like, when Halloween comes, is it Junkenstein's Revenge 2?
Oh, 1,000,000%. I mean, I fully expected that. That's how all Blizzard games work. I don't know if you're paying attention. I mean, World of Warcraft and Diablo, they all do those annual events.
I don't know. I guess I was just hoping that the Overwatch team would kind of like do something
change up the cadence. No, I see what you're saying, but I think to say that they nailed the new skins is an understatement. This is the best drop of skins like ever in Overwatch history, and they reduced the price of last year's skins, and they brought out like 6 or 7 new ones, and almost all of them are awesome. I mean, the Biker Reaper is one of my favorite skins in the entire game.
It's a pretty good one.
It makes me want to play characters that I don't normally play. And I love how it changes also. I don't know if you know this, but Soldier 76 and McCree, they have 2 new skins in this, and their characters are wearing flip-flops. And in the game, when you're playing as them, it changes the sound of their steps. So you hear them walking around in flip-flops, and that's an awesome touch.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a fan. So I need an excuse to play Overwatch, right? I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to be going for those disappointment boxes and hoping for the best. But I'm having a great time, and the summer games are on, and I'll be on there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a little much though to call them disappointment boxes now, right? Because they did add that patch where you don't get as many duplicates.
They're trying, dude. I get very few now. Very few. I might get one.
He's trying.
I might get 1 duplicate for every 3 boxes. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's the rate.
That's great and all, but I'm also like, now I'm collecting all these voice lines I don't care about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's harder to get coins now, I guess, because you're not getting the duplicates. So trade-off, but I'm excited about it.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'm just finding it very hard to get excited about the summer games. It just feels kind of, I don't know. Maybe part of it is just that the Olympics really only happens every 2 years. Mm-hmm. And this is just like, this is our summer game Olympics every year. It feels kind of weird.
I get what you're saying. I do. It is less, impactful because it's less relevant in the real world. Yeah, I understand that for sure.
It's kind of manufactured hype at this point because I just Don't care.
Do you like any of the skins out this year, or do you like any of the emotes or any of the preview? What do you call those before the play of the game?
The highlight intros.
Yeah, the highlight intros. Because I think Farrah's is awesome. Have you seen that one with the basketball?
Yeah, where she dunks.
Oh, I got that one too yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a year where Blizzard has conditioned me to not give a shit about loot boxes. And that's just bleeding out because now I don't care about anything in Overwatch except for playing Overwatch. You know what I mean? Like if someone comes to me and says like, "Hey, I got that dope new Farrah skin where she, looks like Megatron." I'm like, I don't care, dude. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like even the flip flops thing, like because that's a really neat effect and that's a really neat addition to the skin. And this is about as excited as I can get about it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm weird, man. I think because I took off almost a full year out of Overwatch, like my love for it has been rekindled, like and burning brighter than ever now. So it's catching me at a good time because I didn't do any of these other events like all year. I didn't really do much of Junkenstein's Revenge at all. I didn't do much of what was the defense. What was that event? I can't remember.
Junkenstein was the defense one.
No. What was? I can't remember what it's called. But
are you talking about the anniversary event?
No, it was. Oh, I suck. No, it was the other one. It was like there was another event. I can't remember the name of it now. But as soon as I open Overwatch, I know I'll remember it.
Okay.
A bunch of different skins came out, different annual event. Anyways, I didn't play any of those. That's my whole point. But like now, this whole year is like I'm planning on playing them all and being much more involved in the events and all the items that drop out. So because last year there was a bunch of things came out that I wish I got, and you had to wait for them to come back around because they're only available a certain number of weeks a year.
Yeah.
So now's the time, and I'm buying like the Symmetra, like emotes and all that crazy, and the Genji Nihon skin, the Weeb skin. Like I'm all about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just I can't reiterate how much I'm just like kind of meh about it. To me, this is just another week of Overwatch, and I know it's like special. This is a whole new week of Overwatch, and it should feel like something more. But I just think that there's something about it that's not getting its claws in me in any way, shape, or form.
That means that we should move on to news.
Sure. Yeah, we can hit up the news.
The news.
Oh, I thought we were gonna make Collin do it again.
Oh, okay, Collin. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Collin. I know you've been practicing for hours.
Yeah, I've been practicing forever. Welcome to the news. Do.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice. Good stuff. Can
we
get that,
Collin? Hey.
Yeah, we can get that on a get that on a soundbite. Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of press that button every now and then.
I hear that bacon sizzle.
Okay, so we're gonna try and do a quick different thing with the news, where we're kind of like not gonna spend as much time on this stuff, and we're gonna, treat it more like a newsy section of the podcast as it is.
Yeah, we got the music already, so we're basically CNN.
Right.
Exactly.
Now we just need some lower thirds with parentheses on them. No. So
industry
I guess
terms. Industry terms.
First thing on the docket here. So PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is like the most played game on Steam, period, parentheses, except for Valve games.
Right. But it did beat Counter-Strike, did it not, in number of concurrent players?
I think Counter-Strike can only beat it for like a shining moment, a brief shining moment.
But it has the record.
Does it?
Yeah. Actually, so I have an article pulled up, and so I can read a short bit of it for you guys. So MCV, this is via mcvuk.com. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has now reached 481,291 users at its peak on Steam. Creator Brendan PlayerUnknown Green announced on Twitter. This makes PUBG the most played game on Steam apart from Valve's own titles Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, and Dota 2. Okay. The latter is still far ahead, though, with 1,291,328 peak players, while CSGO is at number 2 with 850,485 users at its peak.
So it's not even close.
Yeah, so it's not close, but
still an achievement, not to diminish this achievement.
No, I think it's not necessarily the record that it beat out CSGO. I remember right, it beat it out for a small moment in like concurrent players currently on Steam right now playing the game. Not necessarily
but the
peak.
Okay.
I was just going to say the other games also have like 4 and 5 years on PUBG, so...
Right. And this game is not even done yet, right? Which is like the main story, and it just came out this year, and it like skyrocketed to like over 4 million players, like even faster than Rocket League, I want to say.
Well, not 4 million.
No, 4 million copies sold. I mean, sorry, not 4 million
copies
players.
sold. Yeah,
copies
yeah.
sold. My bad. Yeah, like that is incredibly fast, especially for a game that's technically not out yet. But then again, release dates and everything now in modern times, like it's all gray anyways. You know, games are constantly coming out. I mean, what's the difference between this and like a game coming out and then having a day one patch and then patching week and week and week out, you know what I mean? And saying it's done. Like, what's the real difference here? There isn't any.
Like, yeah, honestly, like even after PlayerUnknown's quote officially comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if it still got pretty regular patches for a little while.
Of course.
Yeah. It's just kind of the thing of the industry. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy though that it's getting that much attention. You know, it's insane.
I don't think it's crazy. I think it's an awesome game. I fully expected it. I kind of was the champion, right? Of like, Robert, you got to play this game with me. Come on. You know, like I was the one that kind of got you onto it.
And now I have 40 hours logged in. So hey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You have more than me then, because I have like 30 hours logged in. So,
didn't the game originally get gain its footing?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bud. I was just going to say, didn't the game originally find its footing on Twitch? Isn't that how it got big?
Kind of, yeah. Like a lot of Twitch streamers are definitely like helping the game out for sure.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most streamed games on that site. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't help now that you've got a lot of stream snipers and that whole drama, but nonetheless, Twitch is helping it out for sure.
Just, hey guys, pro tip, just don't be a dick when you're playing video games. Try that for once, you know? I'm not saying, I'm looking at you guys, but I'm talking to everybody in the world. Like, just don't be a dick when you're playing games. Just be cool. Let's have fun.
But you don't understand, Jack. I'm hardwired to be mean to fellow man when I have a controller in my hands.
Yeah, play 5 minutes of League of Legends and you'll see that.
I've played a year of League of Legends. I'm hatred embodied into a human soul.
made manifest.
Yeah.
Man, that's why I left that game, I'll tell you.
Yeah, like whenever I enter a lobby, the first thing I say isn't really like hello, but generally like one of 3 profanities, just kind of, you know, in the general direction of other players.
Mid. No, fuck you. I have mid.
PUBG's community is very crazy, but they are trying to crack down on people that are, you know, really being toxic in the community. They're trying their best. They're going to make some mistakes along the way. Expect that, but you know, they're making the effort, and I think that they know they have a great thing here. And when it expands to console, that's going to open up a whole new audience to the game. I think it's fantastic. I think PC is definitely the place to be, and they're just making continuous improvements. And I said this, I called this months ago. This game is going to be brought up during Game of the Year discussion. If it doesn't officially release this year, it's going to make certain things a little sketchy, but it's certainly one of my most played games this year. Robert, obviously one of your most played games, and I'm definitely good. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon, especially if they start. Can you imagine them adding other islands? It's already cool enough they're adding just different times of day and different weather.
Yeah.
But if they start adding other islands, you know, I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless with this. This is going to be almost like a platform rather than just like I don't see a PlayerUnknown's 2 coming out, right? They'll just add another map.
I mean, the same way there isn't a League of Legends 2.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this is like a platform now, so get in while it's cheap.
Right.
It's good already, even though it's not done. It's good already. Obviously, 4 million copies sold. There's something going on here, and it's pretty exciting. And I kind of brought this up yesterday casually when we were playing Overwatch, but Overwatch basically copped off of Rocket League. So what's to stop them from creating a 100-player, 100-hero, you know, battle royale mode? I could see it. I could totally see it.
God, now I'm kind of hating that idea.
You know what? If you guys remember that game on a PS3 called Mag, do you guys remember that? This is what that was like trying to be. It was like a massively, what was it?
Massive action game.
Massive action game.
Action game. Yeah. What's the manliest 3 words we can think of?
Yeah. So yeah, this is like making that, you know, that was what it was trying to do. It is something like this with 100 players, 100 plus players all in one match. And so it's proving that it can be done and it can be successful. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Same here.
Definitely. I need to jump into it, man, for sure.
Yeah, when you build that new PC that you were going to finish building a month ago, 2 months ago,
right?
3 months ago.
Yeah. You know, just buy me a new motherboard.
Colin,
buy me a new motherboard and it'll be there.
Colin, okay, do me a favor, okay? Take your hand, okay? You got your hand up? Just
raise your hand.
I solemnly swear I'm up to no good.
Now put it down here, okay? It's by your hip. Feel that?
Yeah.
That's a kidney. Yeah. You don't need that.
You only need one.
You only need one of these,
listen.
man.
Listen, testicles sell for $30,000 in the black market.
How do you know that? Why do you know that? What is wrong with you? Who are you, man?
Hey, man, people need testicles, I guess.
This is like, they make testicle implants for when, when necessary. They make like fake ones. You don't need a real human. What is wrong with you?
So in other news, in the new sequel to Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, they're throwing
Shadow
in
of
micro.
Mordor.
Yeah, I almost said that.
Shadow
man.
of Mordor.
In Shadow of War, they now have microtransactions in a single-player campaign game where you can buy all kinds of things to bolster your character. For example, you can buy new weapons. You can buy new generals for your army that you can raise, or you can buy
chests.
Yeah, or you can buy XP boosts, or you can buy another testicle.
You might get a legendary testicle.
Yeah, I don't think you can use in-game funds for that.
No, so it's just
Where have we gone, gentlemen?
Off the deep end, that's where.
But yeah, there's been a bit of backlash about this just because, it's a single player game. Come on, do we need to?
It's a real sketch, especially because it should be noted that this game is much heavier on loot than the last game was. And it's much more dependent on that RNG, right? But you can circumvent all that for the low price of $5.99. You can boost up, and you can basically pay to not play the game. And it's just such a sketchy place to go to. And like you said, especially in a single player game where getting this stuff is the game essentially.
Right. It's they haven't released a pricing model yet, so no one knows how much it'll be for a chest or whatever. But I just can't help but worry that, the whole point of monetizing after you release a game is that you want people to buy it, right? And that works very well on free games, mobile market games, on your phone. You play Candy Crush for free, but then oh no, I ran out of lives, but I could spend $1 and get a new life and play again, right? You'll eventually hit that wall that'll make the user eventually give in and give you their money.
Or watch this ad for, an extra speed boost or something like that.
Right.
Or
but here's the thing.
bullets.
Right. But Shadow of War, you already have that $60 entrance fee. You can't even play the game unless you fork over $60 to Warner Bros. Little pockets. And then on top of that, I'm worried they might implement a system where it's you could totally earn those generals on your own, but you can only get this super mega awesome general with 2,000 HP and, he can win the game for you, but only if you pay $9.99 per loot box, and who knows if you'll be in that one.
That's real bad.
So
real bad.
Here's what I'm worried about. So I get the idea of because what the developers have been saying, okay, so it's a thing we're putting in the game. It's not gonna. You can of course opt out or just choose not to get them. You can earn all of this stuff for free. It's just gonna take longer. So what they're saying is you can buy the stuff and you can make the game go faster because you'll be more powerful. Thus, you'll be able to get through battles faster, defeat enemies quicker, whatever. And so what that worries me is are we going in this direction where games are deliberately adding padding to their game in order to you know what I mean? Artificial length, I guess. To make the game longer. That way it makes the player want to buy into such things to get through something that's arbitrary in the game.
They've been doing this for years, and I guess time will only tell, but they're going to have to balance this game to account for people being able to buy loot. If they make it where everything you get playing, just normally is just crap, and the only way to get any blue or purple or orange items is to spend money, that's a huge issue. They're going to have to balance it so you're getting a good drip feed, no matter whether you're playing it for free or not for free, but you're playing it for $60 or you're playing it for $160. They're going to have to balance the experience. And so, I mean, I understand their motivations. Game development is expensive, but I just think this is a great example looking ahead of a bad way to implement this kind of thing. Just much like in Diablo, which is going to be a comparable game to this because it's a loot fest and Borderlands. Much like how Diablo 3 had to rethink their real money auction house, if you remember.
Right.
You know, I remember how hype I was when I got like 800,000 gold or something like that for like some brown ring or something, some set piece, whatever. And I was like flipping out. I was like jumped out of my chair, like pumping my fist, like, oh man, 800K is so much money. Now, you know, it's obviously not really anything in that game, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It does definitely make me think a little bit less of the game and what's going to be happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's like, I mean, me personally, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, right? So like seeing and like an IP like this, right, just get treated kind of like that, kind of, I don't know, hurts in a way. It almost kind of offends me in a little, like, sort of small sort of way, but like at the same time, it's one of those things where like WB Games has been going in this direction where they've been publishing games and like releasing several different editions of them, like gold editions, legendary editions, whatever, all these pre-order bonus type stuff. Not to mention there's like a $200-$300 collector's edition for Shadow of War. Like just all this ridiculous stuff. They're pulling like what EA was pulling years ago. And it's annoying.
And what
you know
Ubisoft
what I mean?
is still pulling now.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly. They're doing the whole gold edition, legendary edition bullshit.
I feel like there's a right way to do it. There's a wrong way to do it. You know, it's just a sad precedent, but sadly, it's a part of the reality. I mean, I remember just not that long ago, 5 years ago, whatever, you had to pay $10. We talked about this before. We had to pay $10 for multiplayer, or you had to use the code, right? Like that came in the box
if you didn't buy the game new. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like another way they're kind of going for that money grab.
Yeah, and it's just such a shame too, because I remember Shadow of Mordor when that first came out. It was one of the first games at that time that was really big about like, we're not sending out any review copies, and we'll only, like, they did a weird thing where it's like, we'll only send review copies to YouTubers who like will pair up with us. You know, so it was like a very sketchy launch from the start, but then it earned so much goodwill after that because it was actually like a good game. You know, like, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, but I was a fan of it.
Yeah, it's an okay game in my opinion, but like, I mean, that game had like a rocky history, man. Like there was that with the whole YouTuber thing, and then there was the whole conviction with them getting convicted of using Assassin's Creed 2 programming code.
Right? Yeah. Did that actually go through in court? Actually, were they found like liable?
I don't think so. Like they didn't actually come out like guilty or anything. But it's like, it's so damn close, and you can tell by just looking at the game that it looks like you're playing Assassin's Creed and you're doing climbing and all those animations.
They had like artists that worked on Assassin's Creed look at it, and you can recognize, you know, and when you are intimately involved in a project, you can kind of recognize your own code by sight, right? It's not that hard, you know, when you're in the industry. And so that's kind of what happened. I remember it was not passing the eye test. You know, I just didn't know if maybe they were found liable by a judge to have to pay them damages.
Yeah, as far as I know, they somehow got off like not guilty.
Okay.
Yeah. But nonetheless, like, the game is looked at as a generally good game, I think, in, you know, the games press and in the media and like in general fans. So it's just such a shame that they're not trying to like capitalize on that goodwill and just be like, hey, we're going to release a game, you know, and we're not going to do some bullshit with it. We're just going to, here it is. Here's your sequel. Here's your Nemesis System 2.0, you know, because that was the saving grace of the game. And it just looks like they're undercutting it with some super hard microtransactions. It's just garbage.
Right.
But anyway, moving on. Destiny 2 is coming out on PC pretty soon, which is actually kind of a first because Destiny used to only be console exclusive. And the PC beta is coming up at the end of August 29th, I believe, 28th if you pre-order. But they're yeah, I know. But they're doing a thing where they're trying to restrict cheaters, you know, which that's good. You know, it's always bad whenever someone cheats in a multiplayer game. But the system that they're using to prevent cheaters from cheating is also preventing like streamers from streaming, or like if you're playing in a party, like there's no Discord or like, you know, any voice chat like overlays on the game. They're not allowing any of that. So if you wanted to stream or record the game using like OBS or XSplit, you have to play the game in windowed mode, which hurts performance considerably usually. And it's just like, it just feels like Bungie doesn't know that they're putting a game on PC.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like they don't have much experience in this realm, and they don't really realize like what's important to PC gamers. You know, I hope that they, you know, it's just, I don't know what is the official word, but I hope they are going to be supporting like unlocked frame rates and variable resolutions to choose from. But with this kind of oversight here, I mean, how do you get by not using Discord? I use Discord every single day.
Well, you can use Discord, but like in some games, there's like an overlay where it'll like show you a pop-up saying who's talking and stuff like that.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
You can't do that in Destiny 2.
Gotcha.
Supposedly. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a very minor thing, but it kind of doesn't bode well to me about like the future of Destiny 2 on PC.
Yeah.
It just seems like this is the first tale-telling sign, right, of a not good port of a game. Where it's definitely more like console centric PCs an afterthought.
Yeah,
it seems like the consoles is where they make the money. So
yeah.
I mean, where they make the money right now. But if they're gonna again not really put the game out there with features that PC gamers want, then they're never gonna gain the PC. But I will say the fact that this is coming to PC is the only reason at all that I'm even interested in it at all. Because Destiny 1, I understand. Listen, guys, I'm not trying to get all up in your bad spots. That sounds really dirty, but
No, go on.
Really, Jack?
I'm not trying to like ruin anybody's parade here, okay? But Destiny was terrible. I hate the first game, and I understand it got better. I understand like through various patches and various add-ons that it became a good game at the end there, but it didn't get me in that first I don't know, probably 20 hours I spent with it. Like I know. I was sitting here like, what's wrong with me? It's one of those games that ask me what's wrong with me. I was like, why am I not liking this? Why is everyone loving this? Why is this the biggest game in the world and I'm just not feeling it? But it's I'm excited now because it's on PC and because I'm hoping again for it to be catered for the PC and not. I don't want to feel like I'm playing a console port, which is what I'm very scared of right now.
Same here.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, when I said like consoles are where the money's at, what I mean by that is I think they're still pushing it as like, oh, the best way to play Destiny or the optimized way to play, Destiny 2 is going to be PS4. You know what I mean? They're going to be pushing it on the PS4 platform like they were with the last game.
I know they're already
because they have that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say they have that like kind of advertising deal and pushing it on the PS4 kind of thing.
I know they're already making that all white PS4 Pro like bundle. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how I feel about white consoles, overall, but I'm not going to lie. It had me thinking like, maybe it's time to upgrade.
Yeah. I don't know. Just like getting back to the point of like not being able to use third-party apps, to me it's just like shooting themselves in the foot, not just because they don't know they're catering to a PC crowd, but then when it comes to like marketing a PC game, like we were just talking about this 10 minutes ago, PlayerUnknown Battleground would not be as big without Twitch.
You have to have it. It's almost crucial now.
Yeah, so like streamers are like half of your marketers, like sure you can spend millions on advertising and get commercials and stuff out there, but if you don't have streamers helping you out for a game that lives and dies by like how many people are playing it and like, hey, get on for this raid that we're about to do and stuff. It's just silly to me, I mean,
look at Persona 5 though. They wouldn't let you stream that game either. Do you know about
True,
remember that?
Yeah, but it's not like
I'm not defending it. I'm just pointing it out.
No, yeah, but I think the difference there is that like I'm not still booting up Persona 5 because Atlas is saying, hey, there's going to be a big raid this week and you can get some dank loot and get your characters up to level 99. It's like if I wanted to do that, I just do it. I just play the game. Whereas with Destiny, it kind of lives and dies by the community.
Is this like, just for the beta or is this confirmed like going to carry over to the final release?
It hasn't been confirmed for the final release, but it hasn't been denied either. So we'll see.
They need to get out in front of that.
They do. Anyway, moving on. The 2024 Olympics are going to be in Paris, France. And Tony, I'm bad at French names. Estanguet. Tony.
The only way, the tiger. The way to say French words is that you just basically begin the word and then the end of it just don't say.
Estang.
That's probably it. You just don't say the end.
Yeah.
That's how you speak French.
Yeah. So Tony, the co-president of the that's weird to say. The co-president of the Paris Olympic Committee. He's one of the dudes that's like helping plan this whole shebang in 7 years. He says he plans to actually hold talks with like esports officials, and with the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, you know, people who decide, you know, where the Olympics happen every 2-4 years. He wants to talk to them and be like, hey guys, what if we had esports at the Olympics, huh? How about that? Of course, it doesn't mean that, you know, it's confirmed. You know, there's no confirmation that we're going to see like the Dota championships or anything about League of Legends or something in Paris in 7 years. But I think it's pretty cool that these people have enough of like a sense to even consider it, you know? Because there was a time where it'd be like, what, StarCraft? At a sporting event, you want ESPN to show StarCraft?
Well, I don't think it's going to be StarCraft at the Paris 2024 games.
No, but I'm just trying to think of like, you know, back when esports was emerging, like StarCraft was the big one, right? Or one of the big ones.
Right.
But, you know, whenever there was talk of like, hey, want to put this on ESPN? You know, she's like, what are you talking about? That's not a sport. Who'd watch that crap, man? I don't know.
Yeah, we've come far away.
You watch people play video games? What?
Yeah, but now like the Olympics, you know, like that's big. That's kind of huge.
Now you can be a super broke athlete that people only care about your sport once every 4 years now. Look how far we've come. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making light of it, obviously. But yeah. I mean, I remember a time where I was being told as a youngster, little bobblehead Jack, that...
Excuse me?
Yeah, I had a big head. I still have a big head. But
okay.
Same.
But anyways... they were telling me, hey, you better study. You got to get good grades because you need to get a scholarship in college. But I can imagine now, I mean, there's probably parents all around the country like, hey, get back on that League of Legends. You need a scholarship to get into college. You better get good at that game.
My God.
You're throwing it, man. Rashawn's kicking your butt. Like, I don't know the terms, but
can you run that one by me again? Hold on.
Rashawn is all I know.
I just want to see dads or like soccer moms walk into their kids' room all dressed in like the shitty Adidas sweatsuits or something like that, with like a whistle. Come on, kid!
Yeah,
all tartar.
Oh, you're so stupid. Everyone knows melee is top lane. Smacking him on the back of the head.
What kind of jungle job is that?
Yeah. I didn't raise you to be a crap jungler. So, but to go back to that, like it's exciting. What I'm interested in is like this 8 years down the road or 7 years down the road, like what game would it be? Because I think they did have Olympic chess before. So what game would this be at that time? You know, it's good. Oh, I know, guys. It's Half-Life 3.
Nice. That's why it's taking so long.
Yeah, they're
waiting. Gonna make it. It's just gonna be a MOBA.
There's an Olympic mode in Half-Life, guys. It's the sequel. It's the new thing. It's the new hotness. It's all in VR. Don't worry.
Guys, anytime someone says Half-Life 3, it just gets pushed back to another 3 years.
What was that about Half-Life 3, Collin?
What?
An angel loses its wings every time.
No, I don't know. I'm of two minds of it. Like, one, I think it's really cool that, like, you know, one of the biggest forefronts of like athletic competition, because like the Olympics are it, you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, like,
I'm with you. Listen, I'm with you until you start saying it's athletic. Like,
well, fair, but it's this global. Like, it's not just like the NBA finals or the NFL football boy finals. This is like a global thing. Like, you know, people from around the world get together. You know, it's like a huge worldly event, and they're talking about putting esports in it. You know, like, I think that's definitely, it's got magnitude and weight to it to say that. But at the same time, I'm also thinking, like, yo, the prize pool for the Dota 2 championships, like $24 million. Right. Do you need to go to the Olympics if you can make that kind of money already?
Right.
You know, like, esports already has this working, very great, you know, like, structure, where you can watch like every year the League of Legends finals go on, and those are huge.
Pretty sure this week the international's going on, actually.
Yeah, for Dota.
Yeah.
So wait, okay. On a side note, just real quick, speaking of Dota, did you guys see the video that was going around on Twitter? I think it was like the Dota finals or whatever, but they announced the new Dota card game.
Gwent for Dota.
It was basically, I can't remember what it was called, but it was just like, it's like a 17-second video, and you just hear a collective boo and awe.
I think go ahead.
I was gonna say not the reaction I'm sure they were hoping for.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's
I don't know
funny.
I don't know if they were expecting something else, but I think there was supposed to be like a huge announcement, and that's what it turned out to be. So that's everyone's like, no, fuck that. Yeah.
No, my favorite thing about that Dota card game being announced is that I don't know if you guys follow this. This is a quick little side bit, but I guess we can talk about it since it's news technically. Gearbox Software, remember the Borderlands people and then the Battleborn people who released Battleborn
I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
Same
They're actually
time
not
as
that far
Overwatch.
away. Yeah, they're not that far away. They're up in Dallas there.
Yeah, so get this. They announced a couple days ago that they're working on this like first-person shooter card game hybrid game that's going to be really cool. And then Dota's like, hey guys, all the millions of people who play Dota, we're making a card game.
Oh, wow.
It's just
Gearbox
unfortunate.
is so sad. We need to do like an expose on just Gearbox over the last 10 years, how far they've fallen.
And I
from Borderlands.
Yeah, because they have such a strong card in their hands. Just work on Borderlands 3.
Oh my gosh.
And make it good.
You know they are.
And well, yeah, but it's been years. It's been almost a decade.
Dude, it's the curse of Duke Nukem coming back to Reap. Like, that's what it is. They should have never touched that property. That was like, we should really do like a piece on Gearbox because their story is fascinating to me. It's so paved. Like, what do they say? The road to hell is paved in good intentions. That's kind of like where Gearbox is. They have all the best intentions in the world, but best intentions don't get you shit unless you come up with good results at the end. So
yeah, I mean, just like this fucking card game debacle has them seeing. It's just so unfortunate, man. It
Randy
really is.
Pitchford, I'm a fan of yours. I don't mean to crap all over your company, but dang it.
Yeah, it's rough.
A news piece that we forgot to mention, actually, speaking, because you saying talking about Gearbox reminded me of it, but Lawbreakers was released 2 days ago, and the player base is smaller than when Battleborn was released.
Yep. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Is it like less than 2,500?
It's less than 10,000.
Okay.
It's like depends on what source you look at. I know GitHype puts it down to like 3,000-4,000. Steam Spy puts it at 6,000 to 7,000, I think.
And again, this is the most popular it's ever going to be. Is this week?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Cliffy B is pushing it so hard on Twitter.
Is he?
Like he has to know. Yeah, he's pushing it so hard on Twitter, but he has to know that it's just nothing.
It's just
that
too
didn't even
hard.
make a splash.
It's painful.
Wait, can we take bets right now?
Oh no.
I give it 6 months until it's free to play.
Oh, until it goes free to play?
Yeah.
I mean, they just didn't market it much. They just didn't. There was next to no marketing. They were just. It seems like they were almost going off of Cliffy B's name to sell it.
Yeah,
it's just,
that's what it seems his independent game, right? Like, I bet they didn't have any budget really for marketing. Mm-hmm. They were hoping the beta would market
it was a way smaller budget than Battleborn was for sure.
Dude, no one is talking about Lawbreakers. No one. It's crickets.
Here's the thing. Even I didn't bring up Lawbreakers. I'm the only one on this podcast that was kind of like, it was all right.
This is, and you just thought it was all right. And like, this is probably the world exclusive info on Lawbreakers right now. Our podcast. We're probably the only one talking about it on the internet.
I don't know. It's just a tough game to sell, I think, in today's industry. Because you already have, like, if we're just talking the first person competitive shooter market, you have Overwatch for the people who are in it for like not just straight up shooter. And then you have CSGO for the people who are in it for straight up shooter. You know? I don't think there's that much of a market left for like, but what if there was no gravity and you could shoot behind your back? I don't know. It's a tough sell.
No.
Guys, just think about this, man. Do you guys know the myth, or at least I should bring this up a little bit. You know Quentin Tarantino, right? Everyone knows him. Do you know what he has said? It's not really a myth, but it's more a theory. He said that he's going to retire after his 10th film. And the reason behind that is because most directors, if you look through history, film history, after 10 films, everything they put out is basically crap, and they don't know it, and they don't know how to stop the bleeding, and they stick around longer than they were asked to, and when they leave the industry, people were never really asking them to stay anyways. And this is Lawbreakers is just like, it's echoing itself from the film industry to the game industry, because guys, look at it too, like David Jaffe, Okay, Cliffy B. These are some of the biggest names in gaming about 10 years ago or so. And do you guys even know the name of David Jaffe's new game that just came out?
Excuse me, that happened?
Exactly, yeah. Drawn to Death on PS4. That stupid comic book or 10th grade. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's actually one of the worst games ever, too. It's like secretly, or not so secretly. It's really awful in all aspects. You just, I don't know. You reduce yourself to Brock Lesnar levels of intelligence when you play that game.
Oh my God.
And then look at this, Lawbreakers as well. But like I said, guys, these guys were absolutely at the top of the game premier at a time where video game developers were just starting to kind of get some public recognition, right? And now look what they're reduced to. They're sticking around too long. They're making games that nobody asked for, nobody's playing. They're just embarrassing releases, and it's kind of sad to see.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, a part of me did want Lawbreakers to succeed, but it's not gonna happen, I don't think.
It's 10 years too late for that game.
Yeah. And
yeah, it's too little too late at this point, man.
Speaking of things that won't succeed, our last bit of news today. Ooh, yeah, spicy, huh? So Disney and Netflix are in talks, and apparently Disney is going to release their own streaming platform by 2019.
They're divorcing,
yeah, they're going to take all of the Disney kids that are on Netflix and they're going to take custody of them. Spoilers, I don't think it's going to succeed very well.
Man, time will tell, but I think did you guys see the thing that I mainly took away from this is the stock price of Netflix just totally sunk down like 2-3% within like 15 minutes. Did you guys see that when they released this news? Wow.
No, I didn't see that, but I don't doubt that though.
No, absolutely. And so I think it is a smart move, actually, from Disney to do this. I might be in contrast to your guys' opinions, but I think that Disney is one of the few companies that can do this. And not only is their streaming service going to have Disney, it's going to have Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer. It's going to have ESPN. Yeah, it's going to have ESPN. It's going to have all of the Disney properties.
Wow.
And does Disney not own Marvel?
They do own
Yes,
Marvel.
they do.
What
and
if?
Star Wars.
Yes, and Star Wars. What if, guys?
Well, so then here's my question.
Netflix is boned.
No, what about the Netflix produced Marvel things like Daredevil, The Defenders, Iron Fist? Do those just
Luke Cage?
Yeah, do those just get kind of taken away from Netflix? Every time Netflix's name is on there, there's just like a really fat like Disney logo on top of it now. Like, is that what happens?
Yeah,
maybe
that was my worry.
Maybe Netflix just gets to keep those and just becomes the new CW of the internet.
Maybe
it's relegated to that.
Kind of like Fox with X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's going to be ugly. But I think, like I said, I think this is now listen, I don't like this because it's not a great, it's not great news for consumers. Because a great experience for us is to just go to one place, log in one time, and see everything we want to see. Not have to worry about different passwords, different billing, that whole thing, different logins, all that crap, different apps on our phone to just see things that we can see all now under Netflix. So it's not. So ultimately, consumers are losing in this deal.
Right, and that's part of the reason why I don't think it's going to succeed, because it is a strong pull, right? Like all of Disney's properties being on one service, like Disney Go or some shit. I don't know what they're going to call it.
Sure.
But it's just so not consumer friendly. It's so anti-consumer, I'd almost want to say, because I already only pay for Netflix and Crunchyroll, but that's also like they're two very different sides of the coin, Like Netflix is trying to have anime on there, but we're years, if not decades, away from Netflix being the sole, like, I can get what I want from Netflix and from Crunchyroll from Netflix.
Yeah.
So I'm okay
with Funimation.
Right. I'm okay with spending that money. But for most people nowadays, if they don't have cable, or even if they do have cable, they're probably spending money on Netflix and Hulu. Right? Like, because those are kind of the biggest, like streaming, like catch all, like you'll be able to watch whatever you want with those two. And then throw in Disney. So now that's like, if you're lucky, another $10 a month. So you're paying now $30 a month for three different streaming three different streaming services that have different things on their roster, right? And correct me if I'm wrong on this, but doesn't ESPN already do kind of their own like streaming on the go kind of stuff?
Yeah, they have their own app to where you can see stuff. Yeah, you have to log in with your cable credentials though. So you have to have cable.
Okay, so that's.
I think, though, it's a tangled web now, but I think YouTube actually has whatever their new streaming solution is. I think that covers ESPN, too. And also, what's it called? Sling It's all over the place, man. It's a very tangled web.
Yeah.
So like, you know, in a couple years, you're going to be asking people to like, I mean, I guarantee there's not going to be like everybody that does this, but if you want to get all the shows that you like there is and movies like at your fingertips, man, I mean, that means you're going to have Hulu, Netflix, Disney streaming, or whatever the hell it's going to be called, and Crunchyroll. Like if you want, you know,
and
anything
Amazon
you want.
Prime.
Amazon Prime.
If you really want everything. Yeah. It's like what, $50 a month? Right there.
It's just like cable
pretty
prices,
much cable.
basically. Yeah, it's cable.
It's it's exactly cable.
And then HBO is like $20 a month, isn't it, or 15?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, HBO Go too. I forgot about that one. So it's more like $60 a month.
You mean Game of Thrones Go?
Right. One way.
Right. Exactly.
One way I can think of this being kind of cool. All right, I'm trying to look for the silver lining, right? But one way I'm seeing this could be potentially cool for Disney nuts specifically is what if they're just like, here's Disney streaming app. By the way, every single Disney film ever made in history is available for you and will never go away. Like just on demand.
If they're Disney,
that'd be
if
cool.
It's Disney, they have no reason why they couldn't do that, and they're going to have some. Like this is the only company out of all these that I think that actually could pull this off because of how much shit they have.
Exactly,
but it's just how they go about it. They can't pull some shit where they have like just, you know, random ass, like it can't be like when Netflix started out, right? You guys remember when Netflix started streaming and how shitty the movie selection was?
I remember.
Yeah. It's like you can't start out like that. You can't have the bottom of the barrel type shit on there. You got to have, you know, your animated movies, your Pixar movies, your maybe even your old Disney Channel movies.
That's what
Some
I'm
people
saying.
have nostalgia
Disney
for those.
Channel, Disney XD, like all that old what if it was just like everything Disney's owned, ever made, comprehensive, and you don't have to worry about
I might have to subscribe.
That's the only way.
I might have to subscribe.
Yeah, that's the only way it could be cool. Like they have to incorporate, they have to go through all their legacy properties and just have them available. Like that's the thing I hate about Netflix is there's always like BuzzFeed or whatever releasing the coolest things on Netflix this month, or the one thing I really hate is like, oh, the top 100 things you need to watch on Netflix before fucking Tuesday because they're going to be gone. It's like, what the hell? Like, you know, like I hate having to adhere to those kind of schedules and those licensing agreements and all that. Yeah. So if Disney comes out with something like they're just here now, you know, I think that would be something worth investigating. And if that's really what comes of this, then it might be a worthwhile venture. I mean, it's like something in my pipe dream. I know you guys are both thinking about it too, but like Nintendo needs to get up on this too. Like, by the way, you know, $5-10 a month, whatever it is. Here's just every Nintendo game that's ever been made. Here it is.
Virtual console.
You just have it. You got Nintendo. It's no longer an issue anymore. You just pay us this, you know, fee, auto deducted from your account, and you just have access to every Nintendo game. Boom, all done. You know, obviously it's not that easy, cut and dry, but that's the ultimate, right? That's the end game. That's what everybody wants.
See, so you said that you kind of see like that as a silver lining. Like it'd be cool if Disney like put everything ever Disney-fied that, you know, that wasn't racist from the 40s.
Song of the South or whatever it is.
Right. As like everything that was good PC fun Disney was on there. Like that'd be cool. But for me, I'm thinking like that's minimum. Like that's a requirement to me. Like
I hope so.
To even consider like, oh, you want me to buy into Disney Go, Disney Flix? Like I don't see myself wanting to buy into this that much because I know Disney owns a lot of properties, right? Like, you know, this isn't just like the new Disney movies. Like you're not just going to wait for Moana 2 to come out and then you can see it there. This is like, you know, the future Star Wars movies could be on here. All the Marvel, the MCU movies
potentially. You know, those are all on contracts. They're not, you know, they're not going to be on Netflix in perpetuity. Like they're going to be pulled off eventually. And what a hit to Netflix. This is a big hit to them. I mean, they're going to have a huge hole that just cannot be filled after this really takes place. This is going to be, I'm not going to say it's the downfall of Netflix, far from it, but it's just, you know, definitely taking away from their value.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I would hate to be the higher ups at Netflix in this time. You know what I mean? Like having to deal with that shit and like even when they weren't dealing with this shit, like going through all the stuff with like licensing and all that, it sounds like a nightmare. Like,
do you guys remember a long time ago when they were talking about splitting up the Netflix into two different businesses? They even had a name for it, but one was going to handle like the mail-in disc portion of the business. The other one was going to handle streaming. And then the community like backlash to it, and they went back on it after their CEO and president like went online and like announced it. He like backpedaled. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that, but doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I don't want this to happen, but if it ends up like in something that Robert, you're saying is just bare minimum, effort, then and you have everything that Disney's ever made, then it could be cool? Question mark.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they need to understand like pricing though. I think they need to make it very affordable because like we have a year and a half before this starts to happen.
Yeah.
And by then, Netflix is going to pull something out of their ass in the next year and a half to make it so, they have as little people as possible canceling their Netflix subscription in place of the Disney Flix subscription.
Dude,
what I mean?
Yeah, but Netflix is swimming in debt too. This is like kicking them when they're down. They just posted $20 billion debt. Billion. With a B. Yeah. And now this is just kicking them when they're down. So it's not a great time to be a Netflix stockholder right now, but we'll see. They have the challenges placed before them. And to announce this far ahead too, like I understand you have to get out in front of this as well. You have to be like, hey, we're leaving. This is when you can expect a new streaming service. And I think Disney has to be very aggressive, like you said. I agree with you on pricing. Like they have to make it cheaper they're gonna have to make it cheaper than you would expect it to be to get people to make that jump, and then eventually raise prices, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because Disney is not one to like. They know they can charge a premium for their products. They have a monopoly over their properties. It's just what it is. Speaking of which, speaking of their properties, on a side note, did you guys know that IGN teamed up with Disney? And they have a TV show in Disney XD now called the IGN Show.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Yeah. It just happened like a month or two ago. It just started.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know if Disney like.
Hold on. Is this on cable?
How that works? Yes.
They put a
Disney
show on
XD.
cable?
Yes.
What? That's
Disney
weird.
XD, the IGN show. Yep.
I thought this was online somewhere. I'm sure it's online too.
No. It's an actual TV show, and I don't know how that works. If they just struck a deal with them. I don't think Disney bought IGN out. I don't think that happened.
G4 Tech TV, Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler. Like, what is this?
No. I mean, it's IGN people. Adam Sessler.
Why'd you make that
Morgan
face,
Webb,
Robert? I loved what's it called X-Play.
Oh, dude, I love
X-Play was
great.
the bomb.
I loved X-Play.
Dude,
yeah,
me,
that was
Robert?
before
what
I got into
like
IGN.
about it. Do you not like Joy?
Okay.
Dude,
I don't
Adam
actually.
Sessler is great.
G4
Adam Sessler
was
is so
sweet.
great.
Yeah, he is. He's still great. Yeah, G4
Yeah,
was
dude, he just looks like
jam.
he just every time he's on something, he just acts so coked out, and it's hilarious.
I'm just for We're gonna shelve this topic and we're gonna revisit this another time. We'll do a G4 retrospective just to watch Robert shake his head apparently for 2 hours.
After our Gearbox retrospective.
and we watch hours of cheaters.
Yeah.
Cheaters. That was a real thing, man. That was another human low, I think.
God, G4. What a
and then
I feel so bad about
episodes
that.
of Cops.
Oh God, it was so bad towards the end.
Oh man. Yeah.
But anyway,
good times though, good memories. If it wasn't for G4 and X-Play, I would never have played Prince of Persia: Sands of Time just to tie it back to our previous conversation. So
Very nice.
that's real.
So let's get into the last section of our podcast.
Yay.
This didn't happen last week, unfortunately, but this week, Jack,
All right.
I hear you have a good old would you rather for us.
I have been struggling with this 4 weeks now because we did delay it. I'm like, how do I ask this question? I came up with this big elaborate story and this big elaborate scenario, but really, it doesn't have to be that way. It can just be simply distilled down to a basic would you rather. So
question. Do I need pen and paper to take notes so I can understand the question?
No, but I thought my elaborate story was going to be good, but then I bounced it off of my wife, and she's like, I lost you. So I was like, okay, we'll just make this a simple question. Not my first choice, but this is, I think, the best way it's going to work.
Okay.
So, would you rather give up your top 3 favorite gaming platforms or your top 3 favorite foods?
What do you, give up as in they don't exist in the world anymore, or I can't touch them?
You can't touch them or play them.
So like pork cutlet, you could eat a pork cutlet, but I couldn't anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
So you could threaten me with like, hey Robert, you see this delicious,
If I
this
felt
pork
like
cutlet.
it, yeah. And think about what your top 3 favorite game platforms are. Robert, I'm sure PC is one of yours.
Oh yeah.
What are your top 3?
Let me think. Probably PC, PS4, Nintendo DS.
Okay. So you either give those up or your top 3 favorite foods, which is pork cutlet, I guess.
That's a tough one because like I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of my because with my top favorite consoles, right? Like 2 of them are
platforms. It's expensive.
Platforms, yeah. So 2 of them I'm never gonna touch again. Like I'm probably not gonna touch a PS2 ever again. Probably not gonna touch a DS ever again. But PC, and it's not like there's gonna be a PC too. You know what I mean?
No, that's the beauty of it. Yeah,
it's PC.
There will not be another platform.
Oh god, now you have to play games on Mac.
Oh no!
Question loophole: can I boot camp a Mac into a PC?
No, because it's still a PC.
No, but it's a Mac.
But what are you loading onto it though? You're partitioning it with Windows.
That's irrelevant though. It's still a Mac.
Windows is PC, bro.
God damn it. Okay.
All right, you think over there, you Steam. I can see this pains you some, and I knew this would affect you, Robert. But Collin, what are your top 3 platforms?
My top 3 platforms. Oh god, I've been racking my brain about this. I mean, PC is just so all-encompassing. It's just hard to not put that up there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, PC is one of them. God.
Is Switch up there for you? You guys don't talk enough about the Switch. For 2 Switch owners here, we don't have enough Switch talk on this podcast.
I mean, it's not my favorite platform because there's just not enough games on it yet.
Yeah, I mean, what's the news about the Switch?
Now, I'm just curious. Well, I mean, ARMS just came out. Splatoon 2 is like all over the world. I haven't heard
what you
word
just
one
said?
of it.
2 mediocre games just came out. Why aren't we talking about bad games?
Splatoon 2 fans, I'm so sorry.
I don't think Splatoon...
Splatoon 2 is a system seller for me. If I could find a Switch, I'd buy one for that game.
Fair enough. Different strokes.
I don't think
for
Splatoon
bad
2 is
opinions.
bad, and ARMS is just... It was just okay. I played the beta for both games.
ARMS, I'm not gonna die on a hill for ARMS at all by any means, but
Yeah.
I still, if I owned a Switch, I probably would own it.
Honestly, top three platforms. Yeah, PC, PS4.
Really? I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. It's gonna be fondly remembered.
God, I'm torn between PS3 and PS4 though.
PS4 for me. PS4 easily.
Yeah.
The controller alone.
Yeah,
Fair
PS3
enough.
wasn't that.
The controller alone. The PS3 controllers.
Yeah, but
horrid.
PS3 has such an amazing fucking library.
PS2 is if you're talking about library, PS2 is the one, and
Yeah, for sure.
head and shoulders above everything.
Wait, so we're talking platforms, right? So that means is backwards compatibility still in play?
What do you mean? Just ask what you really mean.
Good thinking, Collin. I like it.
Yeah.
So if you're saying you want
if I have a PS3, I can get a backwards compatible PS3, play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games.
Fair enough.
I like the cut of his jib.
I'll allow it.
I like
If only, so it doesn't count for Xbox One.
Wait.
It doesn't count for Xbox One because you need like downloads and shit for that. If it just works out of the box, then I'll allow it. But I will not allow downloads.
Back up. This doesn't fucking matter anyway because we be getting rid of it.
What?
So like it's top 3 platforms that we have to, like our favorite 3 platforms. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant anyway because we have to get rid of them.
No, but
so
I want to know what they are for the sake of this conversation.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but no, we were getting down to the nitty gritty when I brought up backwards compatibility because I was
you might
thinking
be
that's like.
something.
Yeah, it's a good loophole. I'd let it pass.
No,
Robert likes it.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that it would probably be PC, PS4, and I need a Nintendo console.
I was gonna say Nintendo's not in there somewhere. SNES is the only clear choice.
Yes,
but that
maybe
Wii U.
SNES.
What?
I'm torn. I'm torn between SNES and GameCube right now.
It's tough. Definitely, GameCube has some gems with Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, but there's no JRPGs. I mean, there is. There's like Lost Kingdom, Baten Kaitos.
Bro, the better Skies of Arcadia is on GameCube. Okay, so we haven't even really got to the question yet. He's still trying to figure out his top three.
No, okay. I'm going to go with GameCube. I'm just going to go with GameCube for the sake of moving on.
Robert, what are your top three again, just real quick?
PC, PS2, Nintendo DS, like the OG, the DS. Like
okay, those are your favorite all time.
Yeah, that was a tank that you could like chuck across a football field and be like, yeah, it's fine.
The fat DS.
And
actually, I had one of those. I dropped it and it fucking broke on me.
It did?
Right at the hinge.
Wow.
Bad luck, kid. Because I've destroyed mine, and it's like, hey, you want to play more Nintendo?
It is
you
a
want to
tank.
play more Mario?
It's a tank. Let me ask you, what are your top three favorite foods, Robert? Top three favorite.
Okay, so curry has to be up there probably.
Curry's very broad, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, and that's my question here. So, like, does it have to be? Because if you say like my favorite food is like hamburger, what about like a buffalo burger? Like, does that cancel out because it's like of that food class?
No,
or
but
like
it would cancel out cheeseburgers. But I think buffalo, I would allow that.
Okay, so there's a lot of nitpicky stuff here.
Yeah, but let's be real here. Buffalo burger ain't no damn hamburger.
Oh, it's not a hamburger, but it's like in the same way if someone said my favorite food is ramen, does that just cancel out all ramen or like the kind of ramen they usually eat?
With that, I would say all ramen. It's
all
very
ramen.
case by case. Here, so
but
what are your top three favorite foods? I'll tell you.
Let's see. So probably Japanese style curry. So does that cancel out Indian curry? I don't know if you've had either.
Is curry a genre of food? Or is it just the name of a spice?
Curry, I don't know. Well, curry, at least in the Indian form, is kind of like a gravy.
Yeah. And in Japanese, it's kind of like, it's also a gravy, I guess.
Is curry a genre of food? Like hot dogs?
Yes and no. It's
or
tough.
Is it a condiment?
You could almost call it more of a condiment in a way.
If it's a condiment,
I guess.
If it's a condiment, then all types of curry.
Okay, that's dumb though, because Japanese style curry is so different from Indian style curry, and also like there's so many Indian curries.
In flavor profile.
Oh yeah, have you never had Indian food?
Yes, I have. No, I'm just confirming with you like what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like my point.
Yeah.
Listen, dude. Whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to get to your number 2, your number 3. Okay, if you just want to say Japanese curry.
Yeah, Japanese curry. We'll put it there.
If that's your favorite one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We'll put katsu on that list. Pork cutlet.
Collin is racking his brain over there.
This is tough.
I am.
But it's also given me my answer, and my answer is I'd give up food. The top 3 foods.
Wow. What's your other food though? You just cut to the chase.
See, here's the thing.
What's your third favorite food? Here's
the thing. I can't think of it quite now because what my favorite food is really just changes a lot. Like, I don't have this is my favorite food of all time kind of a thing. I just have moods where it's like I could go for this right now or I could go for that right now.
For me,
so
okay.
Well, because I'm just saying, if we establish my list right now of top 3 favorite foods, right now I'll be sad, but then tomorrow I'll wake up and be like, yeah, I could go for a burger, or I could go for like something that's not even occurring to me right now.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, yeah, there's literally probably billions of different foods
right
out there, and there's only so many video game consoles. So to me, yeah, it's a definitely tough question for me. So you're saying you would give up your favorite foods?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And you would see yourself going back to the DS and.
I mean, probably not, but there's no way in hell I'm giving up my PC.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, first of all, my 3 favorite foods. I'm just gonna go what's on the top of my head. Ramen
for both
Indian,
of you. Wow.
Yeah, dude, ramen's good.
I never said it was.
No,
in my
he never
top.
said. Yeah, he never said it was in his top. He mentioned it. Yeah, like actual real like restaurant. Sit down place ramen, like
bone broth
really authentic ramen.
Yeah.
Right. What was my next thing? Oh, Indian curry. Probably, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you, and this is kind of a cop out or like kind of a generic answer, but pizza.
No, that's not a cop out. That's a real. I'm surprised it took this long to get to that.
Yeah, I mean, like pizza. Like I eat so much fucking pizza, like, and I it's one of those things where like you eat it so much it just kind of goes without saying, but it really is one of my favorite foods.
2 of my favorite foods in the world are both Italian. So like it's a real thing.
It's all just cheese and wheat. It's just fucking cheese and wheat. That's all Italian food is. That's what I heard one
Delicious.
time. Yeah. But it's great. But yeah, at the end of the day, throw out the foods, give me my video games. Because video games is what I live for.
I thought this would be harder for Robert because he's such a foodie.
I love my food, man.
Here's your downfall. It's because I'm such a foodie that I can get over this.
It's because you have a broad range. It's not like you like a few things intensely. You like a lot of things a lot.
A lot of things intensely.
Intensely,
yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But then when it comes to video, there are far fewer video game platforms than foods. Let's be
now,
real.
can I ask a hypothetical?
Okay.
So let's say my top 3 favorite consoles were like PS2, Xbox, and like, fucking SNES, right? Mm-hmm. Like, for example, basically 3 non-PC consoles. Mm-hmm. So let's say I don't play those consoles ever again. Can I then go to my PC and load up a PS2 emulator?
No, emulators are not. Emulators are not allowed in this scenario. Damn. PC games, if you're a PC platform, it would, unless it was released on like Steam or Good Old Games or like one of those. Like if it's available there, then yeah, you can play it. Like Final Fantasy VI, the stupid iOS version on Steam. That's like the 9th layer of hell to me playing that version, that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Hey, that was fun. I got to learn a little bit about you guys, and definitely, you guys listening at home, we really appreciate all the new listeners. I should throw this out here. If you guys are downloading this and enjoying the show, we really appreciate you guys, and definitely love having you here. And it's definitely great fun for us to do this every week, and we just want to say thank you and take this time, and also let you know that our email is available if you guys have your own would you rather either input or any ideas. We'd love to hear it, so you can always reach us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. And with that, I will toss it back to Robert.
One more question. Okay. What the hell kind of story did you have to preface this would you rather?
Yeah, what the hell was it?
That made your wife go, nah, just ask the question. I don't need this Matrix level background story.
I was just trying to be, I guess, different for the sake of being different, not because I needed to be. But it was something like, all right, you're on this like deserted desert island, and like there's a teleporter on the island, and there's 2 buttons on the teleporter, and one says top 3 gameplay, the other one says top 3 foods. But once you hit one, the other button breaks. So which button do you hit? And if you hit the video game console one, then you have infinite electricity and internet. Something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. It's something like stupid like that, though. And then I was trying to tell her, right? And she's just like, no, just ask the stupid question.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So I think I made the right choice of just asking the stupid question.
So thank you for listening to the Tiny Disc podcast. Yes. As Jack mentioned, we have that email that you can shoot to any email to us. And it doesn't have to be would you rather, it's just any comments, feedback, concern, criticisms, etc. You can also tweet at us if you're on that Tweetsters. We are at Tiny Disc Podcast.
What's the Tweetsters?
Tweetsters. The thing those little kids are doing.
Flickster?
That's what Disney's thing's going to be called. Disney's Flickster.
All right. Napster. What if they just come back and it's called Napster? That'd be hilarious.
And they bought out Napster just so they could use the name.
The world goes full circle. We've come to complete the singularity. I think is going to happen at that point, right?
Oh yeah, we have 1.5 years left, people. You heard it here first. But yeah, don't forget to tell a friend if you enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget to tell a friend and let them know, like, hey, this is something you could listen to as well, because we're not really paying for advertising or anything, so kind of spreading word of mouth kind of helps us go a long way, I think.
Yeah, grassroots effort, guys. We need your help to get the word out there, so it's all word of mouth. That's all we depend on, so we appreciate it.
Yeah. Definitely. And feel free to engage with us as well. We'll tell you guys our own personal Twitter feeds in a second, but you can tweet at us with that company hashtag, or you can tweet at us using hashtag TDP. We'll be able to see that, and you can kind of engage, and we'll engage, and it'll be a lot of fun. You can also engage with Collin at his Facebook group. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yo, hey, so I've been running, I've been modding myself the Tiny Disc Facebook group, and as well as running the official Tiny Disc Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook and you haven't already, go ahead and drop us a like in the Facebook group. I make sure I post as much as I can. I post some topics, some stuff that we can talk about, as well as my weekly Facebook Live hangout that I've been doing, which is going Tuesdays at 8 p.m. until I say otherwise. So yeah, just if you guys are liking the show and you guys want to talk about stuff having to do with the show or other things having to do with video games and other nerdy things, just hit us up in the Facebook group and we'll be happy to chat with you.
Mm-hmm. And if you could also help us out and give us a review on iTunes, that'd be really helpful. Just kind of help us build up that kind of goodwill. But I guess aside from that, we've got nothing else going on. So where can we find you guys on the internet?
I am at booboo__55 on Twitter, aka Collin and Mono.
Jack Cepeda at JACCEPEDA Twitter. See you guys there.
And you can find me, Robert, on Twitter and all the social medias at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. That's it for us this week. Tune in next week for another episode of the Tiny Disc Podcast, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Bong bong.
Just a man in a pink snuggie.
I love it. I love it.
And with that...